Good day, good evening, and welcome to our 114th podcast. And it's a special event because we're celebrating the Federer Foundation for the Needy Delpo. And I am a bitter bitch. So for all you motherfuckers who just roll onto this podcast to hear Realz be mad that his fave fucked it up another 2-match point, giving him flashback of 2010 US Open and I cannot. But we have company. And before I go any further, let me introduce my co-hostesses with the mostesses. Andreen from Solely Tennis Travel. How are you?
Good, I think. Still grieving. Yes. But I'll get it together. I'm good. I'm not thinking about any of those 4015 service games at all. Liar, pants on fire.
Oh my god. And we have Janina from Foreign, Ohio. How are you tonight?
Oh, very well, thank you.
Look at her, demure.
I know, trying to be the professional. Trying to be the professional of the podcast. I know. You're not fooling anyone.
Isn't it? Watch out.
Ohio, and we don't trust foreign people from Ohio. America, we don't trust Florida. Just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the homosexual of the podcast, it's Realz. It's like Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now. I cannot.
Could you be any more pathetic? Introduce our guest.
And tonight we have a special guest, all the way not from Compton. She is from Oakland. I got it right.
Yes.
Yeah, she'd be snatching my edges, and I can't have that.
I'm getting ready to snatch
with no
too.
edges. Yeah, she's gonna snatch my edges. We have the lovely Maya from Twitter. If I'm not mistaken, it's at MZMayaE. If I'm not mistaken,
that's correct.
Oh my god, I'm getting extra points. I thought my mind was.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Oh yes, you went to Indian Wells. You know, only rich people can afford to go to Indian Wells.
Well, I wouldn't say I was rich, but I went to Indian Wells. So.
You're either rich or you're Andreen. You know how to work the system. So I don't know. Andreen just seems to pop up in places and just like, girl, what you doing over here? She does take Monica very seriously. So we invited Maya here to tell us what Indian Wells is like. As she's going as a purely fan experience. Andreen is a little bit, she be judging
jaded?
Everything. Yeah. Kinda. So Maya, tell us about your Indian Wells experience. I know you've been there. I know you were there last year because I remember your hat.
Yes.
And I saw your hat again this year.
Yes.
So tell us, do I need to go to California and plop the money to get there and then go to Indian Wells? Do I need to do that?
You do. It's a beautiful venue. It's the 5th slam, so they say.
Oh,
girl, I know we don't. We're trying to get rid of one of these slams.
I know.
Anyway,
I'm only kidding. But no, I think that tennis fans would really have a good experience here at Indian Wells. This is my 4th year going. I think I started going back when Serena returned to Indian Wells. My fave wasn't showing up, so I figured I didn't need to be showing up either. But I started going back, and I guess it was 2015, 2014, whatever year that was. And my experience this year was a little bit different than the things I had done in the past. In the past, I had primarily, stayed mainly in the Stadium 1 or 2 and watched all of the big name players. I rarely went over to the outer courts.
Like Flavia Pineda, the big.
What?
Like Flavia Pineda. You said you were going to see them watch big players.
Dang. Anyways, I rarely ventured over to the outer courts, but since some of my ATP faves weren't showing up, and I figured,
Who are they? Who are the faves?
My faves are Gasquet and Goffin, and I love Monfils. And I'm starting to like a bunch of the little newcomers coming on the scene. I'm checking out. I love the one-hander tennis game, so I'm checking out for Tsitsipas. I think I just messed up his last name, but he's
what the hell is a Tsitsipas?
I thought it was a thing, but it's someone. But you know what, Maya? Look, Maya is a scrub watcher like Realz, and I am not shaming Maya. You go, girl. You check out the satellite.
This sounds like a disease.
Oh my God!
You work in the healthcare industry. Don't you dare try to do that.
Let me tell you, this year I didn't even spring for the Stadium 1 ticket. Normally, and I guess in previous years, you would be able to get into Stadium 1 with even a grounds pass, but they changed that last year. And so you needed to buy a Stadium 1 ticket to see Federer or Serena or what have you if you wanted to be in there. But this year, I wasn't really even sure if Serena was going to be showing up. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to get these ground pass tickets and I'm going to do something different. Like I said, since my faves weren't showing up, I hung out on the outer courts. I checked out a lot of different players that I had never seen before. And I had the best tennis experience this time. I mean, I did take time to sit outside the main stadium on the grass when I wanted to get a peek at Serena or V or Federer or whomever, you know, the bigger names that were playing on Stadium 1. But I mean, I went way to the boondocks. Stadium 9, that's like the most remote, smaller court over there, and just the atmosphere and the view over there was really nice. And if you go the first weekend, which is very busy, and what I chose to do, your chances of seeing a lot of the players, you know, is going to happen versus if you wait the later week, everybody's going to be gone. So I saw, you know, but yeah, I saw a lot of top-notch action on those courts. I saw your guy, Chung. That was a good match.
Is he cute in person?
His legs.
His legs are amazing.
Yes, his lower half. He got a little butter face, but don't worry about that. That is
you
because
know what, Real? No, we are not going to go there. No, I like the glasses. You know, I'm attracted to that. I like. He looks very smart, so that's appealing to me. And he's got those legs on him.
Maya, the backup bitch. Back
do not call our guest a bitch.
You can have. For my scrubs, I will. You can have more fees. Would fight with Andreen for more fees. And no one's coming for Gasgate. No one's checking for
I know nobody's checking for Richie, but I have a heart for him. I know. You leave him alone.
Pamela is checking for Gasgate.
I got my taser ready, Maya. I got my taser ready.
Oh my goodness. But I did not check out PCB for you, but I did check
That's
out
okay. That's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
He got a little money now. He thinks he's cute.
Oh,
but
okay.
Next day, that semifinal money is gonna run out, and he'll be back.
But there are a lot of good matches to be seen on those outer courts. I checked out your French guy, Pierre Hebert. I checked him.
Did you want to touch his cheekbones?
He has the best bone structure. I tell you, I looked at him and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at him. He's a beautiful man. He really is.
Maya,
don't you just want to stare?
Maya, you're a guest. You're a guest.
Okay, that's my cue to back off. Okay. Jeez.
You know what?
His eyebrows are a little out of control, though.
The thing with Realz is that he's real selfish. He's real selfish. He wants to carry it all for himself.
Want to share
I'm
a goddamn thing.
And I can't manage them all at one time.
You don't know that, Maya. You don't know that. You don't know that.
You cannot.
Maybe you can say you can't manage them all at one time, but hey.
You dirty little bitch.
Oh my God.
Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me.
I mean, we're judging you hard right now.
I'm going to say it. I'm judging. So.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, jeez.
So you had a really good time. So when you hung out with the plebs, you know, and you were going to, because I do think that, you know, if you're in Stadium 1, you basically get stuck there because, oh my God, I'm going to watch Serena. Then Venus is coming out. But when you go at the outer courts, you get to check out different courts. And let's be honest, sometimes one match can't keep your interest. So you're like, you know what? I see a set here. Let me go check out another set here. and you get to see doubles. You get full for the price of one. So
yeah, and you know what? That's exactly what I did. You hit it on the nail. You know, for example, let's see. I wanted to get into the Osaka Radvanska match, but that was totally full. So then I decided to go over to see, I think it was Viktor Troicki and Martin Fucsovics from Hungary. He's an up and coming. Yeah, he is.
Fucks a lot.
Pardon me? Oh,
yeah, but he's Hungarian though, so I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about his politics, but I'm just saying from a physical point of view, he can get it.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything wrong physically, and so you know, I kind of stuck around there a little bit in order to get me a seat for the next match, which was Benchik versus Ostapenko. I had never seen both of them in person, and so that was a pretty good match. I watched the whole match. It went to 3 sets, and you know, and then like you said, I just kind of puttered around. I would see one match. This was just like on the Friday. I didn't like it. I moved on, and you know, and the beauty of it is I went by myself, so I was on, you know, no one else's schedule. I could just pretty much come and go as I pleased, and all of that other good stuff. So
what Maya is really saying is she's a selfish bitch.
I am not.
That was single, free, and disengaged for 3 days, and she loved every minute of it.
I did, but you know what? I also had a good time. I hooked up with our Andreen here and had the best time. She's
our ambassador. She's the only one we can send anywhere. We can't send Janine.
You know what? That's right. I know. She's good. She's good. We had the best time. We went
so
to
much fun.
The hot match of the day.
Did you have aces on ice? Because if you didn't have aces on ice, you didn't have the best time. I'm just saying.
Aces on ice.
Oh, honey, aces on ice. Can I? So Janina and I, in Cincinnati, decided that, you know, it's hot. We should have something cool. Janina goes, "I'm gonna get us a drink." This girl brings back, what is it? Straight what? Vodka?
Tequila.
Straight tequila.
Tequila. Aces on ice. Tequila on ice.
That's it. That's it. There's nothing else going on in there. It's just tequila and ice.
Oh my god.
Tequila is usually sold in such a small portion.
Something though. It wasn't aces on ice. It was very good.
But it's so funny because we're like, this is not going to help us with dehydration, but it certainly helped us with fun. And you know what? We actually saw Pierre again. We saw Pierre Hubert again as well.
The French boys get around. That's why I try to
it was great.
Hold down the one I have. They get around.
No, but we met in Maya's so great because I'm being a lazy mofo. Well, I'm not really being lazy. What I did, how I get to Indian Wells is I take this wonderful thing called a test loop, which is a ride in a Tesla car. You basically purchase a seat in a Tesla car, and you go to a hotel. There are a couple of hotel sites, and you pick it up, and it drops you in Indian Wells at different hotels, or I think a Panera in Palms Desert. But for some reason, I don't know, things were a little bit crazy, and so Maya texts me, and she's like, "Hey, you know, I'm at the stadium, raring to go," and I was like, "Girl, I am not even close to the stadium." And she was so nice because she's holding me a seat. But this is Monfils versus Isner, so there is no way you could be saving seats.
Let me tell you, it was the first match of the day. The match wasn't due to start to 11. The gates were supposed to open at 10. I got there pretty early from my hotel. About 9:15, there was already a line to get in because I wanted to check out some things before it got crowded, and I also wanted to hurry up and get a seat. And they opened up the gates a little bit early because there was such a line, about 9:45, so about 15 minutes earlier than normal. And people, I mean, I'm talking old ladies, everybody, people were running to Stadium 2 to see Monfils and Isner, and I got us a good spot in the shade, relatively close for the general admission area, really nice seats. And after it started filling up, people were pressuring me. I said, "Are you getting here?" I felt like I was going to get jumped. The security person, you know, the usher, not the security, but the usher said, "That seat's been empty for 45 minutes. Is your friend coming?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I said, Andreen, I don't know if I could hold them off anymore. I have denied so many people. So Andreen finally just said, give up the seat. And I was like,
release the seat.
Press release.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so people were very serious about getting to that particular match, and it filled up in there nicely, and surprisingly to me, I had never seen Isner in person. You know, I would only go to one of his matches to see somebody else that I enjoyed watching.
That's
and
right,
so,
Maya. See,
and
that's why
so,
you're a guest.
And so there were a lot of people that were around me that were really pro Isner fans. And so, you know, I'm going to cheer who I want to cheer for. I paid my money just like they did. But I tell you, I got people looking back when I said a couple outlays. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could say something up in here and cheer like I want to. So anyways, I mean, Monfils was getting some support, but it was pretty pro Isner, and this one particular guy kept yelling, who let the dogs out? And I mean, I was just so sick of him. I think I tweeted about, I was so sick of hearing him say it. And so when Andreen finally came there, I felt a little braver. You know, I had a cohort, somebody to watch my back. And so we had a really great time at that match. So
now there were lots of valets. I think at some point in time, we actually let it cheer.
We did. There was another guy in front of us. He would go, Monfils, and then we would all say Monfils, and we had it rocking on our side. And somehow,
hey, he stood up, turned around, and pointed at us, and we're like, yes. And when
so I gotta ask a question. Know that they released there in California, but it's tricky when you're playing an American. So who is that crowd pulling for?
Well, you know what? It was turned from Monfils towards the middle to the end of the match. Yeah, I heard it sounded a little bit like there was more support for Isner early on, but honey, Monfils, he snatched that crowd.
He won the crowd.
Good. Good.
At the end of the second set, he pretty much, I think the way he broke, I think in the tiebreak, because I don't think he ever broke Isner. And so he just sort of like electrified the crowd. And I think they just were sort of, you know, they were ready to be charmed by Monfils. I mean, the only thing that's comparable I've ever experienced in that way is Washington, D.C., because Monfils has played Isner there. And Isner does have a good, solid base of fan support in D.C. as well. But they do love Monfils there too. So it's like there's always a little bit of, I think, attention. I mean, clearly it's not New York. New York, it's clearly about Monfils, but in other places,
it's a chocolate effect. It's a chocolate effect because I be seeing people be cheering for Dustin Brown. I was like, y'all never see this bitch on TV except here. Y'all don't know who he is.
Listen, New Yorkers just want to be. They like excitement. They like somebody who's exciting tennis, and so you know, I think in certain places they really do cheer for the American. That's like a big thing, which I think, you know, Isner's always wanted. They do cheer for the American. I will say though, I've sat in a match with the Bryan brothers going against the Spaniards, and that was not the case. But I mean, who's going to cheer against Feliciano Lopez? So the Indian Wells crowd, they do have eyes. But it was fun. It was fun. I was saying to Maya that, you know, I'm like her at a tournament. I'm a bit of a loner. Like, you know, I like to be social, but I'm really at the tournament to watch tennis. And so I don't like a lot of I don't like a lot of chatter.
Absolutely. I'm the exact same way. I'm the exact same way. Maybe that's why we click so well. Yeah. You know, we knew the correct moments or whatever, and it just came natural. But yeah, and it's a safe place, you know, to go by yourself, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
To hang out. And if you're at a lot of the local hotels, they have an arrangement with the venue, and there's free shuttle. Yeah. You can get shuttle back and forth, and so that really helps out. So you can have a couple cocktails and not worry about it and everything like that. So I think, you know, it's a worthwhile thing to do. A lot of nice courts, beautiful grounds. You know, I did see the increase on some of the food items. I heard there were a lot of improvements, but as far as for the fans, the only thing I noticed were the flowers. You know, that were a lot of flowers.
Can you pick the flowers, Maya?
You can't pick the flowers.
What do you think would happen if you did pick the flowers? Would they come after you?
Oh, they probably would. They probably would.
Tommy Haas running that shit.
You know,
Tommy Haas would be.
One thing I wondered though, because we didn't get to talk about this. Are you a practice court watcher? Because I have to admit that myself, I haven't gone to a practice court in years. Like that's when you go the first time or so, it's interesting to watch and practice. Well, but you just do it again.
Yeah, you summed it up. I went to the practice court, I think the first 2 times that I went out there. And it was just too chaotic for me. I mean, you know, I'm just not the type of person, you know, I have favorites and people I like, but I'm not an autograph seeker or, you know, a picture. I want a picture with a player, you know, it has to be a special thing, you know, but it was just way too crowded. I had bad experiences. I almost got knocked over by some teenagers and some other ladies trying to get to Delpo one year. And I just said, forget it.
Delpo again. It's Delpo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I brought up Delpo. I'm sorry. But yeah, these girls were pretty much they didn't care if you're a child. They're going to knock you down so they can get over to those players and everything. It's just way too congested. And then at Indian Wells, the time of year, it's generally very hot out there. This year was the most pleasant weather-wise. And maybe, you know, that's why I also enjoyed it. It was only low 80s on 2 of the days, which is good for that area. And the other day was like 70 degrees, which was wonderful. It had been close to 100 the previous 2 years. And out in that practice court, there's no, you know, reprieve from the sun. And so see, Realz, that's why I wear the big hats. You know, I got to shelter myself because it's hot out there.
You know what? I didn't see. Usually it's in past years, it's been a big deal. There's like the big grassy player where the players will go out and play soccer sometimes. I didn't see that this year. Did they do that? Did y'all see that?
It was there. I didn't go over there.
Still there.
Yeah, it's still there. They showed, I think there were a lot of other fans and media outlets that showed pictures and videos, you know, of the soccer playing and puppies out there or whatnot. Okay. But I just choose. Yeah, I just choose not to go over there. It's just way too crowded for me, way too hot. You know, I'm gonna get myself in some trouble if I go over there and somebody knocks me down again. So it's best that I don't go over there.
Keep the fate in mind. You didn't go out there to get arrested, okay?
Exactly. You know, I'm like, nope.
So you had a wonderful time. So how about like all around? So you're gonna definitely do it again next year, and you're gonna do this way. Or you're gonna go to Stadium 1 probably to watch. I don't know, Ostapenko next year. She might be.
I know. You know what? And see, that's the thing. But you know what? I'm not sure. It all depends on what's going on, how the players are, and you know, things like that might be a determining factor. Who's playing, and where they're ranked. If I decide to, if I'm like, oh, I don't want to miss them, I'm gonna get that Stadium 1. But you can go there, and you know, the ground pass was $50. You can stay morning and night. I think the thing is, if you leave before 4:30, you just need to make sure you get your hand stamped so you can come back in. And you can go into every court except for Stadium 1. So it's really a good value. If you want to go there at, you know, 10, 11 o'clock and stay to the last match or whatever, particularly on the first weekend while some matches are still going on in the evening, you can get your money's worth. You can bring in food. You can bring in water as long as it's not open. You just have to make sure, you know, you can't bring like a heavy, you know, like a hard plastic cooler, but you can bring in your own
picnic basket. No picnic basket.
No picnic basket. I'm sorry, you can't be cute. You can't be cute. You gotta just get a little plastic, you know, foamy, disposable, foldable type of lunch bag or something like that.
Okay. That's
yeah,
I was trying to be cute.
I think you can do. I will say though that if you're gonna do it, I always recommend the hotel and the shuttle because especially nowadays, because actually I think it's $25 cash to park. Which
wait a minute. The parking. I was just gonna say the parking went up. It's $25 now.
Yeah, and that's
so you don't get parking included with your ticket.
No. It's
wow.
And then also with the shuttle, you're dropped off right by the gate instead of parking. You have to walk through the grassy thing under a tunnel, depending on where you park. So that's a good point you brought up. So the way to go is to find one of the hotels in the area that are partnering, you know, that offer the free shuttle, and that's just like the best deal. Now, a couple of days, what I did is because there were a lot of guests coming from the 3 hotels that I stayed at for this one large bus. I just ordered myself a Lyft because one morning, you know, I'm just getting up that age where I didn't want to be cattled that morning. So I just getting where it's like, you know what? I don't feel like being bothered with people. It's too early. I haven't had enough coffee. I'm gonna get myself a Lyft, and it was only $10. So I figured, you know what? I can do that. I got there at the time I wanted to. I was able to get in line early, and you know, and just get situated and get in there and enjoy the, you know, the stadium and sights. And I think a couple of things that once the crowd gets in there on the weekends, and you can attest to this, Andreen, it gets really crowded that first Saturday. A lot of people come out for the weekend, and you just
that's the day I don't go anymore. I know. Well, the one thing I will say too, though, in terms of parking, you were asking, Janina, I think if you're like a season ticket holder, or if you buy one of those box seats, I think parking may come with that. But if you buy,
I mean, at those prices, you can get more than parking. You should get like a lot of room visit.
They give you parking. But
wait a minute. If you drive an Audi, you get free parking because Audi's one of the sponsors. So if you have an Audi,
shut up.
Yeah, it's cute. You know, they get these little perks for you. Yeah, I mean,
hey, you
unbelievable.
Get a detail on it.
I know these little cute.
Wow.
Maya, did you buy your tickets beforehand, or did you buy your tickets as you got there?
No, I bought my tickets. Now they do sell out rather quickly sometimes.
Passes do.
Yeah, and so I bought my tickets maybe about a month or so or 2 in advance or whatever when I was hemming and hawing. Because I'm glad you asked that. One year I waited. I wasn't sure if I was going to go or not, and in order for me to get in there on that Saturday, the first busy, you know, the Saturday where everybody's coming out, all the ground passes were sold out. I ended up having to buy a high-end ticket. I think I paid like $245 for it in Stadium One, just so I would be able to get in. And I wanted to go that Saturday because it was that was my getaway weekend. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to splurge. And so I had to spend that much just to be able to get in there on Saturday. The ground passes go pretty quickly. I noticed a lot of people, fans that, you know, were sociable that I interacted with, were saying that they got ground passes because the prices had gone up, or they used to do this and that. So I think a lot of people are opting for those ground passes. So.
Yeah, I think it's more value for your money, to be honest, which means they'll probably change it. But for now, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than the US Open, which is which was like $65, maybe close to $68 now.
Okay.
But the other thing is, so my preference is to skip. I go on Sunday because obviously then it's a free day at least from work. But then I go on Monday, and it's a noticeable drop off. Like there's still a good healthy crowd, but you can like navigate the grounds. You can actually see all the matches you want to see on the outside courts. You know, unless it's like a smaller court where they decide to put like a Vika doubles or something. But yeah, I mean, my sense of it too is that I think we've been comparing and contrasting it with Cincy, because Janina has been going to Cincy for a while now. And I think, Janina, you can see how Cincy's changing and getting a little bit more and more corporate. You know, the players are becoming more and more isolated from you. That's definitely the case with Indian Wells. Indian Wells has gotten to the space where I really think that for the ordinary fan, I think it's still okay that you're still getting a good value, but I think they're definitely creating a velvet rope experience. For people who have a chunk of money, who are going to buy season tickets, and they're going to try to create this experience where you get your own private entrance, and you know, you don't really ever have to wait, because apparently in the US waiting is like a sin, I think.
It is.
Yes, people feel so entitled going there. Yeah.
But you know, ticket people like to feel it. You know, it's almost like going to the amusement park, right? Where's the express line? Do I gotta wait? So people love the idea of being able to get some special perks and whatever the case may be. But
to be able to use your money to bypass normal things.
But the problem with that is that the gap between that is fine and fair, but the problem is that they just don't offer anything to the average man.
Not really. I mean, the food is overpriced, and I wouldn't actually say the food quality is great. Like, I think the restaurants are great. I mean, like, I go to the pizza spot often. I still haven't been to Nobu yet. I hear that's pretty pricey sushi. But but I don't really find like I mean, I haven't had a burger in years, so I don't know. But I think the US Open burger is better. But you know, it's just like I don't really find the food that interesting or that good. Which is
if you want to eat cheaply, can you?
I think if you want to eat cheaply, you know what I used to do, and they don't prevent you from doing this. There is a Panera in Palm Springs, and there are lots of cute shops where you can get sandwiches and bring it in. Like I used to do that. I used to get really nice sandwich that morning, bring it in, and then I'd save myself for alcohol, of course. Spend
the money where it's worth.
Yeah,
what's the cost of a beer there?
I think the cost of a beer is pretty pricey. It's like $10.
I think you're right. I'm trying to think of the price. I had a cocktail while I was there, and I think the cocktail was it $15 or $16?
Yeah. It was like 15, 16 because I also had a daiquiri of some sort, and I think it was $15. Yeah. Let's not even talk about the Moet tent. I don't know what those people.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Listen, I think you're paying for like $65 on average, right? Like I think you have to buy a bottle. Their glasses.
You have to buy a bottle to get one of the special little glasses, like the special little egg sofa private thingies out there, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you can sit in like the Moet has a whole entire tent where it's basically like a picnic on grass. And if you buy a bottle, or if you do bottle service, basically, you can sit on one of the chairs outside and watch the tennis on the screen because that's what you want to do.
So here's the thing: in the liquor industry, the liquor selling industry, liquor is really, really cheap to make, particularly with non-wines, like vodka, spirits and whatever. Very cheap to make. So the point of selling it becomes the packaging, the bottles, etc. And these events. They literally, in most liquor companies like the Moet, which is being managed by Louis Vuitton. Those people own that. They basically have a team, and it's events like this.
That's where they make their money. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, and they're Moet's a sponsor, so it's a really nice activation.
They told me somebody paid $65, haven't paid money to get to the ticket to the event, to stand outside and watch it on a TV screen, which you can do
at home
while you're there.
Well,
but they want that experience, though. They want to be.
It's an event.
Yes.
It's like the U.S. Open. I mean, Indian Wells. It is. I was talking to a couple of Lyft drivers, and they said it is the biggest event they have there. And think about this. This is a place that has Coachella, and it has what's the one that comes after Coachella, but it's country music.
Burning Man,
Windmills, or something like that. It's Stagecoach. Coachella is like for rock and roll, and Stagecoach is for country music. But they have that there, and I think a golf tournament. But
they have a golf tournament, and it's like the seasonal. It's like the event for the area, Yeah,
and you come out, you dress up, you look cute.
People dress up.
I'm just putting it out.
I mean,
everybody dresses up in California. California is full of pretty people that aren't even pretty.
But you know what? We're well preserved.
Get her, Maya.
Oh my God, little Miss Moore in Ohio talking smack.
I know.
Listen,
I'm just putting it out there. I'm only going to Coachella.
Has a really weird vibe.
I'm not trying to do Coachella.
Southern California
kind of people.
What are you saying? What are you saying about Southern California, Janina?
It's a weird vibe.
I know, it's all the health.
Everyone is so everyone's so high maintenance.
Oh my God.
It's how we stay looking young and tight, girl. Okay?
I ain't buying it. No. Listen, anyway, I saw in the city, and I know Maya can attest to this. You chew your food up and spit it in a napkin.
You're a mess.
Oh, girl, please.
Some fellow stereotypes.
I cannot attest to that.
You don't remember that episode?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The Sex of the City episode. Yes.
I mean, by the way, first of all, Sex and the City is like biased for New York. So of course,
Yeah.
California.
Meanwhile, Sex and the City is about to be the governor of New York. So don't y'all try to sleep on Sex and the City now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I know Miranda's running for governor, huh?
I heard that rumor. But no, so yeah. So no, it was, you know what? I mean, I think overall, I think it's a great tournament for people to come and visit. I know people, it's the contrast is what Cincy, Miami, or Indian Wells. I think I haven't been to all three. Miami is great for food.
You've not been to Miami?
No, she says she has been to all three.
Having been to all three. Okay. Miami is great for food. Fantastic Latin atmosphere, whatever that means. And then, but I think Indian Wells is just beautiful tournament overall. It's pretty. It's like Wimbledon. It's prettier. It's easier to navigate. There's a lot of room to move and breathe out there. I think the big appeal, I think, of Miami is that there are a lot of Black and brown people there, which is nothing to sneeze at. But I think overall Indian Wells is just a pretty tournament to be a part of. And I think it's easy transportation wise. Miami, you can get really trapped in traffic to even do the shuttle to get to and from the hotel. Traffic is just, it's on a small island. It's really difficult. But I mean, you kind of evaluate what you like. I mean, the food is a really good bid, but I think what also used to make Indian Wells better were the doubles. There weren't as many great doubles pairings this time around, but usually the men and the women.
Well, they offered $1 million, and I kind of fucked everything over, right? Everybody got kind of confused.
Well, it's weird. I mean, usually, maybe I think there were some.
The top singles used to play doubles.
The Frenchies lost early, so
yeah, maybe that also didn't help. But yeah, that used to be the place where
used to play doubles.
Federer occasionally would play doubles.
But his partner isn't there though. Stanley isn't there.
Stan.
He doesn't always play with Stan. He used to play with others too.
He did?
Yeah, he played with his friend for 1 year, and then he used to play with a retired Marco. No, the other one. There were two other people. He didn't always play with Stan, I mean, in the year that he and Rafa went up against Mark Lopez, yeah, I think Stan and Fed were I think they were prepping for the Olympics, right? That was the Olympic year.
Yeah, that's what
That's what it is. Maybe in an Olympic year, we'll have some more memorable doubles pairings. I didn't feel like it was the case this time around. I think.
Well, I guess it all depends on whether the surface will be hard, cold. All pretty much after the last cycle.
It's gonna be hard court. What do you think the Japanese are gonna turn this sucker into a clay court tournament for K? Please.
You never know. With K body, they might try. It might be. You know what? It's gonna be carpet. It's gonna be carpet this year. That's for clay. That's for K.
Did anybody get to see Nishikori running around the grounds before he got sick and left?
I know.
No, and I was planning to go check out his match, and then they announced he withdrew.
I know.
So who did you see? Who did you see just wandering around? Anyone? Do you run into players like that there?
I didn't see. Well, you know what? I did take my daughter. Now I go on the kids' weekend, and I take my family for that. That's free to get in. We saw Darian King because they had the Challengers event going on. I saw Darian King practicing. And
this was the week before.
The week before, yes, that was the week before. So the week before, during the the new Challenger event that they held there, there were a lot of players coming early, and they're practicing out there during the Kids Day event. So that's a good chance for you to kind of walk the grounds and run into somebody. So.
So you have to get. So you want people to take.
It's free, so that's always a bonus.
So you're trying to say people need to take a whole 2 weeks vacation to do Indian Wells.
No. Well, actually, you know what? If you come to Indian Wells a week early, you can go now to that Challenger event, which is free. You can get into the quali events, which are free. So you can get a lot of good stuff in there. So.
That's kind of cool. I like that. That's for free. I didn't.
Yeah, it's like the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open qualifying.
Yeah. I saw Anna Samova play. Sarah Irani, and I also saw.
Took a picture for Janina. Did you take a picture for Janina? For Sarah Irani.
Stop. Did you ask her if she had some tortellini?
Oh gosh! You know what? How come I looked at her and thought tortellini girl? Thanks, Gina.
Because you're living your life right. That's why.
Exactly. And I think I saw the Martin Clisson versus Vasa Pospisil match. That was another challenger match that was going on there. So they actually had some pretty good matches, and that was just a challenger event a couple of days before the qualifying started. And the qualifying rounds
they had for men and women. It's a pretty I checked out, because I checked the scrubs out. It has a pretty good feel in it, and because a lot of people are coming back from injury, or they're always fluctuating up and down. Cleveland always takes Nadal to his 5 sets, and then that's like, so.
But no, Andreen was correct. It's beautiful grounds. The mountains are beautiful here in California. A lot of really nice views, and it's still a good bargain. You can economize in some ways, and like I said, you can stay all day for the tennis. So come on out here, Realz and Janina.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get that money right, when I hit that lotto, Federer decide to make me part of his charitable foundation, like he's giving shit to Delpo. We'll be giving matches, not only matches for Africa, but matches for Realz.
Matches for Delpo. But I had a little bit of thought about that. And you know what you think about, you realize, Federer has 20 plus masters. Delpo doesn't have one. So
he does now, fucker.
I know. Listen. I would have gladly lived the life without Delpo ever getting a master's. It's okay. But in my days when I have to calm myself down as I think about this hours later, okay, Federer was generous. That's why
you see that little boy on your screen, my picture on the screen. That's exactly how my face looks right now. If you're listening to me on Podbean,
oh my gosh,
iTunes. You should just roll over to YouTube to check out my profile pic, because when Andreen starts saying shit like that, that's the exact look I have on my face. That's me right now.
And
what I'm thinking about is just like, girl, I ain't interested in that.
They can only do one choke today, and Federer is taking care of that.
People.
Oh my gosh, why did I even say that?
Since we decided that tennis is best, when best of 3, charity is no longer. You're not people. Masters winning a Masters didn't really mean much. Look at Sasha Zverev. Win 2 Masters and can't even stumble over in the second week of a major.
No. This is, I think it's very valuable for somebody like a Delpo to have a Masters, because listen, all of this is going to look very good when you look back in the time warp thing and say, oh my God, who won a Masters? And people are going to say, those were really hard to come by. This is the very, very, very discriminating list of people. Yeah, I know. Listen, it's as good as I could do.
So Maya, let's not take up any more of your time. Because Andreen is trying to make sense here, and we're not interested in that. We're interested in being rational right about now. Okay? I get to be an American right now. I am irrational. Facts don't make sense. I can be belligerent, and I can have my alternative reality. And in my alternative reality, I know Delpo beat Federer at the U.S. Open last year.
God, he's crazy.
It's always a tough match. However,
listen, we're gonna take our warning from Serena. I made you, bitch, and that's what Federer has done for Delpo.
Oh my goodness!
But you know what Serena does afterwards? She beat these bitches. She beats them. She don't lose to these bitches.
Yes.
So, Federer, if you're gonna take a lesson from Serena, take the whole chapter. Don't be just taking the time.
Chapter and verse.
Exactly. So Maya, let me let you go to your family, because we have taken up much of your time. And apparently Serena has family too. So we gotta do
Are you venturing? Let me just ask quickly. Are you venturing to any other live tennis this year, you think? What would you like?
I am trying to figure out. We're supposed to be going. We being me and 2 of my friends going to the U.S. Open. But I am also peeking into Laver Cup. So I think Laver Cup might happen more so than the U.S. Open because they're lagging on the plan. So, and both of them are in September, and I only have so much vacation that I can take.
Yeah.
So I might go back to, you know, I used to live in Chicago for 3 years. And so it'd be an opportunity for me to also, you know, look up some friends. So,
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Good deal.
So before we let you go, this is your first time on this podcast, and everyone must tell us who their top 6 hot men are. Go.
Oh my gosh. And I'm on the spot here.
You are.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
In no particular order. No particular order.
No particular order.
I would put a restraining order against myself. So if your list happens to coincide with my list, I won't do you anything. You can sleep. Just letting you know that.
All right. So, well, actually, Sanga always is going to be on my list.
Mm.
Born a Courage.
I'm telling you, the French boys get around. Pona Courage. Oh.
Yes. He's nice. Born a
Courage.
Courage.
Trash. I'm just saying.
What the?
Oh, be nice. Come on. Be nice. There is a guy, he plays doubles sometimes. He's older. I think he is Serbian.
Yes. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
What's his name?
Yes. Yes, honey.
See, I'm all about the grown man, and that's the grown man right there. I'm all about the grown man.
Yeah,
definitely
she goes from baby Borna to the grown man. How's that work, Maya?
But they're all in the same area, though. They all speak the same language. Good girl, Maya. Croatian and Serbia, same family.
Fair enough.
Same family,
You're
and
thinking
I'm trying
like a thought like myself. I like that.
I like Pierre also.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay? We got kind of quiet there.
You know,
I said there's a restraining order, Maya. Don't ask for God's patience, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Order, okay.
Lopez, Feliciano Lopez.
Back off.
Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. I hit a nerve. And I can't, and I'm trying to think of who else I would have on that list.
Someone who's not necessarily currently on tour. So you can
have two. You have 2 more.
Oh, well, I have to put Stefan Edberg. I always was a Stefan Edberg fan, and I liked him. Yes.
Classy.
I've always loved him. He still looks good too.
Insurance, man. That's called insurance.
Yes.
He spends his money wisely, not like Boris. He puts his money in there.
Oh, you know what?
That's called insurance, Maya. You're picking a husband for the future. It's good.
That's right. That's called a man who had a plan, okay?
Exactly. And you have one more.
Oh, I have one more? Oh my gosh, man, just falling left and right. Okay. Oh gosh, who is the other one? What if I don't have one? What if I've just cutting my list off?
Not on this podcast. We encourage hold'em. We do. That's what we do here.
Oh well, I'll just put Gasquet on the list because he is my fave and he has my heart. So I'll just put him on there.
You know, you see that boy as your son. Come on, Maya. You know that boy don't swing your way. Don't even try it, Maya. But you know what? Whatever. You can try to teach him a little something, but you know.
A little something.
So it was lovely having you here, Maya, and we noticed that you like the French boys, and they do get around.
You know what? I tend to sway that way for some reason. I have no idea.
It's a California breeze. I don't know what it is. I just love the Frenchies. Maybe because they're laid back. I don't know. Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that from the Frenchies, and they also happen to play really pretty tennis.
They do.
They have a sense of fun on the court. They're not always winning, but
they never win.
Who says winning is everything?
Hearts when you support the French players, you know.
But I take a broken heart over a steamroll that the Spaniards do. So, that's how I roll.
It was lovely seeing you, Maya, and hopefully, if you don't see it,
thank you. I enjoyed being here.
If I win the lotto, you would definitely see me at Laver Cup.
Okay.
So, ladies, we have to bid adieu to Maya and get on with our podcast and really get into this Federer Foundation for the Needy Delpo.
All right.
Thank you, Maya, and we enjoy your being here.
Thank you.
And you're gonna re-listen to the podcast, right? The whole thing, and especially when you're talking.
Oh gosh, I know. I don't like to hear myself speak, but I probably will.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Oh, lady.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to get out my feelings. Fucking Del Potro spoil my fucking evening again.
I hate Delpo. Can I just come out of the closet and say that?
I wanted to say that.
I used to love Delpo. I did.
Never liked Delpo. I've never liked Delpo.
I know. I'm like one of the few. I'm one of the few people who like Delpo. A few Federer fans that actually like Delpo. And every time I would bring him up, I would be like, "Oh no, but I really like Delpo." But over the years, my Delpo feelings have dissipated.
Because you realized what a whiny bitch he is, or what?
Kind of. I think that's what it is. I feel like
because he's kind of like that all the time.
Yeah, but the thing for me about Delpo is it's the sort of like, I'm gonna build my career by beating this one player, which is Federer. Like that's his thing. Like his matches up really well against Federer, and oftentimes I feel like he can bring it for Federer, but then he doesn't translate.
No one else. He lost the fucking
like he doesn't
in the gallery. Come on, my dude. Come on, boo.
So sometimes I get a bit annoyed because I think for him, like beating Federer means a lot for him, which I get. You know, when you're
does.
You're a fan of the person that people call one of the greatest players. I get it. Everyone's always coming for you. And so Delpo's always coming for Fed. But I do enjoy their matchups. But my problem with
Nole at the Olympics.
I love that. He's also really good at snatching people.
Well, let's be real. He's good at one person. He's good at taking out one big person. And then he flops. Because if this would have been a semifinal, he would have totally lost the final.
Flop the next day. But I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I don't mind Delpo and Fed matches because I feel like Federer plays like himself. And so I don't mind it when they go toe-to-toe.
Not today.
My match is I hate a match when Federer loses.
Say that again?
People love that match. I hate a match where Federer is not playing like himself.
Yeah.
That is the worst. So, I mean, because look at it. Federer was playing, I'd say 60% of what he's capable of. And he got it to a third set.
I told Realz yesterday I was worried about this match that he expended too much playing George. That was a tough match.
Nope.
And Realz said no. But you know what?
I wasn't worried either. He lost his game. Like his
yesterday.
Yeah, and today his foot speed wasn't there. I mean, at least today his serve was better, but his anticipation seemed off. There were moments in this, like the last two matches with Federer, where he just feels like a touch slow, and he was getting. I know, but usually, listen, we can't always run out. You know, he can usually come with the quick step, you know, but for some reason, like he was a bit wrong-footed a few times, and even he just expressed that he didn't have no idea what happened in the tiebreak. Like his serve.
Y'all listen to him talk. I don't even. After that,
no, I
didn't listen.
No,
when it was 5-1, I was done. I was like, Federer, too much of my fucking time. You know, I was done. Not here for that mess. Look, I must watch Delpo celebrate again. 2009 is still fresh on my mind. Fuck
that man, that's bad.
No.
That's almost 10 years ago. You gotta let that shit go.
Never.
I mean, you kind of have to let it go because, to be honest, I mean, who would Delpo be if not for that win against Federer? I mean, we wouldn't even talk about it because that was the win that convinced everybody that Delpo was going to be somebody.
Look,
and
Federer always making these scrubs. He made Wawrinka. Now he's making Delpo. I mean, Federer, your charity for Africa is enough.
Oh my God.
You're doing charity for Europe and South America. You don't have time for that. We don't have time for that, man. Your fans were there with you. 2 fucking days of stress. And Venus lost the fucking match. And you were supposed to save this shit. You got 2 fucking match points. Playing fucking silly in that second set. Look, Federer, look. And you know what's coming for you in your $70 lemonades for your kids? Look, nope. See, Federer, You're gonna make me be evil. You're gonna make me be evil. Okay? But before I get into
you knew
all
it
my
wasn't
feelings,
good when he started muttering. He muttered more.
no,
and yelled
Federer mutters and
chair
he
more.
together. That
He does not.
Yes,
No.
he
I
does.
don't know what world you live in. He starts
When
that
Federer gets angry, when angry Federer gets his shit together. He got angry. And
No, Federer. You know what? Delpo brings it out of Federer. Probably because Federer can smell that Delpo's right on his ass, like right on.
I mean,
like,
Federer had no business losing 240-15. No business.
Serving for it. 40-15.
No business. No business.
But you know what? Also, he wouldn't have needed to serve for it in that way, and he would have had chances if he had broken Delpo in the early part of the third set. Delpo was deflated. I mean, he was done. And I was like, but you know, or he was doing his Delpo thing. But I think he was genuinely deflated for a bit, and then I knew he was going to come back to himself, because he started coming back to himself, I think, towards the 7th or 8th game, because he's like, listen, all I need is that final push. And I was like, Federer, you're going to rue the chances that you had to break him twice in the early days of the third set, because he could have won that match 6-1, because that's how sluggish Delpo was in the beginning of the third set. He had so many chances to just turn that set around and be like, listen, just grab that set by the balls, which is why I was like, Federer was just like he normally is. Like normally he smells blood and he's running for it, but he was tight. He was just loose.
I never trust, whenever I watch a match and a player has so many break chances and fucking it up, I never trust them to win the match, because you know the other.
Well, then you expect Federer to lose every one, then, right?
No. I don't mean like that. I mean taking the chance. Federer has 1,000,001 break points, but he breaks. Okay,
does he?
He breaks.
Not always.
Not always.
You're right.
He gets a million break point, but he converts when necessary.
He generally does. He does towards the very end, right? Like he'll have 1 billion. But I knew though.
Well,
but
he just got broken back.
In a clutch moment. I saw 40-15. You know, I was doing that thing, right? Where I'm watching the match and I'm scoreboarding at 2 different places, right? 40-15. I was like, cool. I could take my thing out of the oven. I could get the podcast together. I said, because you know what? I was mad because in the second set, I was just like, this motherfucker is going to lose in straight set, and I haven't even written the agenda yet. Fuck this motherfucker. And then he got his life together. But you know what? I was like, okay, 40-15. This is a done deal. Refresh, deuce. I was like, motherfucker. Federer, what are we doing here? What the hell are we doing here? Why are you playing deuce with Delpo? That fucking forehand. Delpo would lose his wrist with that forehand. Delpo only knows one thing with that forehand. Just hit it hard as you can. Why are you fucking around with Delpo at this point? And I was like, oh my God, he's gonna lose this match. He cannot pull another tiebreak out of the bag. You're not 34, Federer. You have 30-fucking-6. Get your shit together. Come on.
You act like 34 is a spring chicken. But
but you know what? It's not age. It's not age. Federer let that. Federer, I mean, I hate to say it. I know people are gonna get pissed. They're gonna say I'm salty. But it's the same two things that happened to Federer when he plays Delpo. Same thing at the US Open. Federer lost the US Open. Delpo didn't win it. And the second thing, again, here, Federer lost this match. Delpo didn't win it. That it's like when you're in a winning position and you don't shut the door, I just hate that. That's like the worst thing that can ever happen. It's like, get it together.
I mean, you don't get to serve 2 double faults in a tiebreak.
I mean,
it was a lot. That can't happen, especially not in the third set tiebreak. That's just bad news all over.
He
spent too much time yelling at Fergus Murphy. Like, I don't like Fergus Murphy either. His voice is so annoying.
They both.
Oh my God, Delpo! They're screaming when I miss a second or a first serve. You know what? Get the fuck over it.
I think Fergus Murphy has one of those voices. Fergus Murphy had one of those customer service voice where you're talking, but I'm not listening. I don't care.
He said, I said
That's
something.
what I love about his voice.
This was the best. Fergus Murphy tells him, he says, I said something like 5-6 times. What do you want me to do? And Delpo goes, I don't know, 10, 11, 12.
Tell him some more.
I didn't have a problem with the crowd. I think Delpo is an ass for constantly demanding that the crowd be quiet when he riles the crowd up when things are going well for him. I think that's dumb. I do think that in terms of managing the matches and managing what's happening on the court, I think Fergus could have done better at that. Like I think when Federer almost lost the second set because of that weird late call that Delpo does where he's like slumbering around waiting to see if he should challenge or not. Like, what the fuck, dude? Challenge. Like, I mean, he did that at the US Open too. He's like, should I challenge? I don't know. I'm like, dude, go up there and challenge the ball. It's like, don't take 20 years. And it's too long. And it's like strategic too, because it's annoying. Like, it's like he's annoying when he's losing or playing Federer.
Yeah. So
it's just, I think, I don't. So yeah, I got over Delpo a while ago. Just because I think he's annoying when he plays.
Never was on a Delpo train, never.
I mean, I like Delpo. I like Delpo as a player, but I think his personality in the last 3 years has basically revealed him to be a whiny punk. Which
I just find him rude. Like, you know, he's the kind of person. Like I said, you know how I feel about. I just find him rude. Like he's not sophisticated. He's just like that asshole friend that you're gonna have. Who you're gonna hang around with and always saying something asshole, like always trying to act like he's the biggest stud muffin. He gets all the girls.
I have never thought that about him.
He's just an asshole. He just comes off like an asshole.
He's actually pretty nice, but
Delpo?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway,
I've never seen him be nasty to anyone.
His girlfriend who knows it intimately. Hell, don't tell me exactly what I suspect about Delpo. All I know.
There were other matches.
I don't care. It was fine. It was fine. I know. I don't care. Like, this is like the worst thing to happen ever in the world. No, not really. I'm reacting to it in the moment that I'm like, whatever. But listen, you know, in the long run, I'm gonna look back on this and it's gonna be pleasant because you know we're gonna get these fucking people come out there with charts telling us what it is. And so it's always helpful when more people win Master Slams so we can see how difficult it actually is to do, like it is for Delpo.
What I'm most upset at isn't that Federer losing in of itself. If Federer had won, I just saw a stat that said Federer would have been #1 until May 20th.
Yes!
I was willing to sit here and watch all those salty motherfuckers write chants and do all that shit till May. No, that shit is up for a gamble. Okay? I'm not interested in any of that.
Maybe you should just be happy that it's happened at all because he is old.
But you know what? I mean, like, at the end of the day, you know, like I'm a tennis fan and I just have to say, it only seems right that, you know, that Delpo has a major and nearly a decade later, he should have a Master Slam.
So weird, right?
He should have a Master title. Because, you know, people love to believe that the best of 3 sets, you know, is the greatest thing. But when the shit was best of 5 in the final, shit wasn't coming so easy. Okay? And it seems to the people snatching up all
Most
of the
people that watch tennis today don't even remember that.
Yeah. And you might not remember that Berdych has a Master Series title. He does.
No one remembers that.
But no major. But Federer, I gotta say, stop giving these motherfucking scrubs charity. Okay? You give Wawrinka a career, you know, make Magnus somebody, and then Magnus realize I'm working for an asshole. And now you give another asshole title. Come on, now, Federer. You can do better. Do better. Merca is not pleased, and when Merca is not pleased, that means I'm not pleased.
So doesn't she look great?
And you're gonna have your daughter tell you in your face, "No, wait, aren't you #1?" And you lost to Delpo. Oh,
Mirka looks really good.
Who?
Mirka.
Listen,
when you're a millionaire, you always look good. There's
I think she looks like she dropped maybe like 10 pounds or so. She just looks
like
better.
I said. Well, she popped out 4 babies 2 at a time. So I think she's allowed to.
God.
If a snapback game is not right, it's okay. She could take all the time she wants. And she and her man got money. So, hey, girl, do you.
Yeah, she probably had liposuction.
So it was an exciting final. So we can move on from that final to the other final.
It was fun.
Before. It was good. I mean, it was dramatic. I don't know if the tennis was memorable, but
it was memorable. Don't even think yourself. I mean, maybe not for the right reasons or the reasons that you want them to be, but it was memorable. Listen, of course I don't like it that Federer didn't win. Of course I always want him to win, but you know what? Pissy Federer is so far and few between. Like, we go years without seeing that shit. I kind of love it. And then
I don't understand this. Which matches are you watching? Federer gets annoyed every tournament.
Not like that.
No. Pissy Federer.
This was extra. This was
because he's playing with an asshole. Delpo is an asshole, so they always get into it. No. They're always like, you know what? Delpo is. I sometimes feel that Federer and Delpo, when they're fighting for teachers' attention, they want the umpire to be squarely on their side. I don't know what they're fighting for, because it's over something. They're always fighting something useless, right? Like, you know, last time you was hoping, you don't tell me to be quiet, okay? Don't tell me to like Federer. Why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? But you know what? I have to say though, I swear to God, at Federer at matches, I bet all the line umpires are saying to themselves, if Federer challenges something and you lose the challenge, you have to give up an hour's work paid. It has to be that, because Federer, goddamn Federer, you don't seem to get shit right. And why does he get right? I fucking near impossible. You see that shot that was like outside, and that was even like well outside. You had to draw a line to figure out the ball was in. Come on now, Federer. The things that you see and the things that you can't see, that you could see that ball was in, and all those fucking country mile misses. You're like, challenge? Come on, dude. I don't understand.
I think he just gets to a point in the match where he feels like he should eat up challenges because they're sitting there.
Well, it's true, because he never gets into a crunch moment where he can challenge and he can't challenge. I don't think there's ever been an instance where that has happened to him. But you know, come on, dude, Federer. We gotta leave the challenges alone, okay? Sometimes you just gotta be like, you know what? Let the line umpires do their job. You shouldn't challenge. You know, you know what? Have Serena in your box and let her decide whether you should challenge or not. Because I don't know, dude. You're not a goat in this hand, not at all. But before we get to the ladies' event, let's just round out. While we were away, there were several matches, several tournaments happened. But apparently, we didn't even seem to care about those things because we were living in Wakanda. So let me just run these down so we can get to the ladies' finals. This is no slight to the ladies. I'm just saying, you know, things just got kind of out of order today. Diego Schwartzman I thought that, you know, a lot of these guys won their first title, but apparently they did not. I thought Diego won his first title in Rio, but he didn't. This was his second title, beating Verdasco. Verdasco is trying to make a comeback. I guess he realized, you know, that if you don't play tennis, you make no money. And
he's always trying to make a comeback for like the last 5 years.
But you know what? I love to see Verdasco winning matches, just not against my fave. But, you know, I do like to see him winning matches. I like his tennis. I like his energy on court, you know. And when he's winning, he's pretty. But when he's losing, goddamn.
No. He's not pretty anymore. Get it right. He used to be pretty. There's nothing that he does anymore to make it pretty. His face kind of looks like a pound puppy now. I don't know what happened.
He got head of hair, girl, and that's really important these days on the men's side. He got a full
keep going. Hair. What else happened?
I think I'm gonna say his name incorrectly. Karen Chananov. I guess it's Chananov, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. He's like 6'6".
Oh,
anyway,
Karen.
He beat
Karen.
Yes,
Karen
Kachanov. Yeah, that's it. He beat Luca Pui, who was in his third final for the year. This was the second final, but he didn't win this one. I guess because someone really decided to show up and play him. He beat him. I forget where they played, somewhere in Europe. And I think Tiafoe won his first title, which is really excited. He beat Delpo, Chung, and Shapovalov, and I don't know pronouncing because I don't care about this kid. You know, people trying to make this kid a thing, but I don't care. And he beat Jaworski in the finals to win his first ATP title, which is good, exciting. I hope to see that Tiafoe do something really good on the tour and not hang around with these MAGA people. Be all good for me. If you hang around these MAGA people, Tiafoe, you're dead to me. It just okay.
No,
don't be the Amorosa. Don't be Amorosa of the ATP. Don't be that. Don't be that girl. Don't be messy like that, boy.
I know.
And Delpo won his first title for the year, I think, in Acapulco because Vidal pulled out. Vidal, you see, had you been here, you could have taken care of Delpo, and Federer could have taken care of you. Another reason why I don't stand for Vidal.
Oh my God.
Always leave it our fault. Always. He let Nole get away with all those major. It was your fault.
About Nole? Does he look crazy?
But
I'm pretty sure he doesn't eat anymore.
Here. Oh, I forgot we got to talk about him.
Everyone forgot about him because he's... All right, go on.
I didn't put him on the agenda.
He doesn't deserve to be on it, really. He just came up casually, and I thought of a picture that I saw, and he is so. Listen, Novak is so skinny.
Yeah,
something is not right. He has always been thin.
Girl, when you're not eating bread and you're drinking juice all day long, and feeding on love, feeding on loves and hugs. What do you think is gonna happen?
He looks frail. He looks bad. He looks bad.
So Fognini won Sao Paulo and RBA beat Pui in Dubai. And on the women's side, they only have like 3 tournaments. I think they had Fed Cup at some point recently. Something happened. I don't know. But Svitolina being Kasakina in Dubai, having taken out and Kasakina took out Kerber and Svitolina took out Kerber and Kasakina took out Muguruza. Who is having I don't know if she's having a horrible year. She's just, I don't know. But you know,
year, silly.
But you know what? When she see a Williams across the net in the fucking finals, she play her ass out. I got no time for you and your shit. No time for that, man.
It's matchups. I think it's just about matchups. You know, I think sometimes if you're used to a player's style, that's the person that gets you excited and you bring out your A game. Sometimes another player will just, confuse you, mess you up. I think, I think Garbina loves a big hitter. And you can't say the Williams sisters aren't big hitters. Right? If you do anything different with the ball sometimes, or if you're a little
junk her,
yeah, you can't if you junk ball her, she gets a little wonky. So,
and Tsurenko, they had Acapulco, which was, I guess, for Jeannie and Sloane Steven, but Sloane Steven not interested in winning more than 2 matches. Well, you know what? That's an improvement because she was winning no matches. So for the last 2 tournaments, she won 2 matches. And
hey, she's coming up in the world.
I'm done. I'm done for the day. Well, good for you.
Her kit was really cute.
No, again, it's not the right size. I'm sorry.
I liked it.
Well,
whose kid?
Sloane's.
Yeah, no, I'm not for it. It's too tight.
Yeah, yes, it's not her right size. This girl don't know her size. I don't understand this.
I don't understand if you have a square form. I don't understand why you would put on kits like that. But I mean, I'm a fan of the kit that she had before. But I know that it's iconic to be with one of the big 3s, not Under Armour. But I thought Under Armour dressed her well. I know that. I know people don't love it, and everybody's eager. I'm curious, does Nike offer so much money that being like the only 2 or 3 with someplace like an Under Armour doesn't rate as much as being like the 10th person that Nike gives?
I think because Nike can give you visibility and marketing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too.
Nike
might not pay them that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But Nike can put you places, which I don't understand that. But you know what?
I mean, I think it's better to be the only one as opposed to being a gaggle in a batch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It feels like
what I'm excited about is making money in the bank, and people don't necessarily have to see me all about and know my business. That's what I like.
But I think it is iconic. I think it's iconic for them. Like with Halep. Like I think Halep looked great in whatever kit she took off the shelf, right? Yeah. But now she's happy to be with Nike because she looks like she's wearing the same uniform as everybody else. So I think there must be some value. Yeah, it's some value to being part of the Nike camp versus the Adidas camp or the whatever camps. I don't know. I find it kind of boring.
But you know what? Maybe people who don't make a lot, who are not consistent on the tour, and they can't make the money on the court, are excited to be there, get the steady money that they know is coming in no matter what. But I'm just saying, girl, y'all need to demand Nike get better because they have some kind of kindergarten crow designer turning out some garbage. Do you see how Delpo looked today? I mean, he got the trophy and all, but he ain't winning no fashion awards, are they? He looked like he's from a prison gang.
Look at Roger. That kit was horrible. It looked fucking generic. I hate it. It looks
generic, but you know what? It looked better than the shit that Delpo had across the net.
What, today?
This kit that Roger wore in Indian Wells? I hate it.
Listen, Nike has stopped trying since, I don't know, 2012 maybe? I don't know the last time I remembered a Nike kit that had any value to it. I just think they just like run it through the assembly line and toss it on people.
Something.
Yeah, they have some kind of computer algorithm that comes up with some kind of design, some shit like that. Delpo look like he's auditioning for Oliver the musical to be one of the boys in the back.
That gray is so bad. It shows every sweat mark in all the wrong places.
It looks like a prison wall.
Like you piss yourself.
It looks like that gray kit that the Nike group was wearing a couple years ago. Remember that gray and blue one? It was a mess. And so every single thing every body part showed poorly. The sweat
is bad.
Oh my God, I just thought about it.
This is so bad.
Oh God, I hate a losing Federer Sunday. Oh, the worst.
Oh Jesus!
But anyway,
Naomi Osaka kicked ass today.
Yes, Naomi Osaka came in to Indian Wells and she was snatching everybody wigs. She got no time for no one, and she started off by snatching Dopopova's wig right from the very jump. And she was just like, "Snatch, girl, time for you to go home. We only play clean tennis out here, and if you're not doping, if you're doping, we have no interest in you." And she played solid. I was really impressed with her game. Not with her speeches, not with the alleged cutesy routine, whatever the case may be, but you know.
Does it? Okay,
what she's being paid for, what she's there doing.
We'll have to talk about that after. We'll have to talk about it after. What that means.
But she played. I have to say that she played some amazing tennis. She was very. What I loved about her this time around, I mean, like, you know, because she's been very solid throughout the years. She's been making the third rounds of majors. And, you know, she just to climb over that next hump. You just felt like it was coming at some point. And I guess adding Sasha Bajin to the team, I don't know if that, I guess he's a coach. I guess he brings some experience, you know, like, well, you know, Serena does it this way. You know, Vika does it this way. And that could inspire something, whatever. I don't know, but she definitely believed in herself, believed in her shot. So many times she double faulted and came right back with an ace. She had confidence in her game and knew what she could do. And she saw that Kasatkina over there in some 90, and she was like, "Bitch, you fucked up Venus, and I could have been fucking Venus over here." But you know what? I was happy, Kasatkina. I was happy, Venus. You took Venus to 3 set because had Venus showed up in this final, that would have been love and love. It would have been love and love, and Osaka would have been on my shit list for life.
Oh my
no
God.
No redemption. But you know what? Osaka played best tennis, quality tennis.
She played great, man. I expected today's match to be far tighter than it was. I really did, given how Kasatkina's looked. She's been playing some real solid ball, and Osaka just shut that shit down. She shut it down. I was like, damn, girl, she ain't fucking around.
She had no interest.
I was happy to see it. I've been waiting. I feel like we've been waiting for her to make a move, and boy, did she make it.
Well, this is Kasatkina's second finals for the year, and I'm hoping that she will be more consistent. Other than against my fave, because you know it's very WTA always have these young players, you know, that people get all excited about, and then they never have the mental toughness to stick through the big moments. You know, I'm talking about Boyansky from Serbia. She's not a big hitter. So you always have these big hitters, you know, Bouchard. And, you know, they never can keep it up, you know, but I'm excited to see Kasatkina getting in there and making something for herself. So good for you, girl. But we're not here for you beating Venus like that. Nope, not here for that mess. Nope. But, you know.
It's not like Venus has a wig to snatch anyways. She doesn't have much hair, it looks like, to begin with. But we don't really have to go there.
Look, I am not in the mood to talk about that because I'm salty. I am very fucking salty right now. Okay. And I'm going to say something against Venus that I wouldn't love. I'm already in the mood. I can't deal with Venus and her ball.
Def is not Venus's friend when it comes to them edges.
Look,
I will
next couple of years, that girl just going to have a ponytail.
That's beyond that.
It's just going to be a ponytail. It's just going to be scalp and a ponytail in the back. Venus girl, get your edges together. Get them together.
Oh, leave it be. You know, fuck the edges. Can we get the defaults, the DFs? Like, I mean, this was like a Federer Venus weekend. They both lost matches that they were close to winning because they ran out of steam, or whatever the hell happened. Because
they don't hold the fucking serve. They don't hold the fucking serve when they're supposed to. That's the issue.
Venus,
when you're supposed to marshal all your energy and your experience, you've been here before. You not knowing how to close out a fucking match, a tough, tight match, is supposed to be foreign language to you.
Oh,
you could be this girl mother. What the fuck are you doing out here? Girl.
Oh, man.
Girl.
Well,
even Halep was pissed. Halep was like, fuck this shit. Venus not in the finals. I'm out of here. I got no time for this shit. You got Halep mad. Halep was mad.
I don't want to say her name.
Well, Simona?
Halep, yeah. I'm so over her. She needs to go somewhere.
Look, y'all need to understand something about Halep. Halep is going to be the #1 player and not even will try. She's dragging this ranking system to the straight circuit. She's like, look, I gotta do the least amount to get the most. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Look, look, but I find it really hilarious now that people are now trying to drag Halep. I say she ain't putting up maximum effort as if this is something new. This is Halep. This is Halep. But apparently Darren Cahill probably say some shit to fuck somebody over, and people decide, no, we're going to say shit about him and his tutelage. But look,
Simona is a hot fucking mess.
Simona, this is Simona. This has been Simona all the time.
And I'm going to tell you something else about Simona. I turned on the TV. I don't even remember who she was playing. She did win. She looked like she was going to lose, but she won. And I knew tennis was on, and I come in and I turn on the TV, and there she was on the TV. Do you know I didn't know who she was? I don't know. She looked like a little boy in that kit. Like, I didn't mind it on Kasakina at all. I thought it was cute. Simona Halep looked crazy. That did not compliment her at all. And the way she had her hair pulled back in it, I think at one point she had a hat on or a visor or something. She was unrecognizable. That was so bad. Why, she's your world #1, but I guess she's not, very dominant one.
Is she the world #1? I thought it.
Yes,
it went back. I thought it was Carol.
No, it's not. But I'm thinking, like, why do you got your world #1 dressed like everybody else? But they don't care about her because it
don't matter.
She ain't doing nothing.
But overall, I think the tournament was it was good. There were some good matches. I mean, I think Venus finally getting a win over a somewhat hobbled Serena is the best thing that happened for me. It's the tournament highlight. Because I was like, if you can't take advantage of being the person who's been playing consistently on tour while your sister's been away, then what's the point of it all? So I was definitely a fan of that Venus scoreline. How did you all feel about that match?
I felt like that was the match that Serena took chances in to find out where her game was. And I think that she chose to do that because there's no shame for her in losing to Venus. That's my thoughts.
Well, for me, I was like, finally, Venus had her head fucking all right, because if you couldn't be her pregnant, you're going to lose to her and her comeback trail. Come on, Venus, girl. Get your shit together. Get your shit together, Venus.
And I mean, really, if Serena's going to lose, who do you want her to lose to?
Right.
Or somebody else, really.
Well, and I think that's how it is in her mind, too.
Yeah.
Well,
although barely from the shade she offered later.
She was pissed. She was pissed.
I mean, you see, this is why I can't always get on Venus back then, because Venus give you so much. So much Venus give you. I mean, I'm all for you trying to get it on the court. You could call her bitch all you want, but get off the fucking cool girl. And you're still messy. Get out of here. You're just petty. You just petty. And you know what? You're offering it. No. Come girl, Serena. I ain't got time for it. But what I did love about the match is that Venus' forehand was on like a boiled corn. It was like it was on. And I was like where is this forehand every fucking week in, week out? Well, if that forehand is on like it was against Serena, shit, Venus is #1.
We could have been we could have had a winner in this damn final instead of
exactly. We could have 230-something-year-old, 237-year-old #1, but Venus ain't about that life when it comes to that forehand. That forehand goes MIA against everybody else, but against Serena, she was ready for it. But it was a good match. It was a good match.
Yeah, I was. I didn't have tickets for the match originally, And I was just going to be like, well, I'm here. Let me just watch it on the screen. But I was like, well, I mean, Venus looks like she's doing damage. I should watch this match. I don't want to miss a match where Venus finally beats her sister. So I was like,
you've seen so many where she's lost, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I was at the fucking US Open match. And so I was like, let me just go buy these tickets. Let me go buy some tickets. So I bought a ticket and I went in, and then I was able to catch that. I was like, I was so happy. I was so happy to have been able to see it live. But the people around me were serious Serena fans. I mean, I don't know if they were Serena fans. They were more like, I think they were like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know people who are Serena's fans like that. So, I don't know if they wanted to.
Let me tell you who those people are.
Wait. I didn't know if they wanted it to go to a third set. Do you know what I mean? Or they were really excited for Serena. I couldn't tell. Like, I couldn't tell where the energy was coming from. But I was definitely the only person cheering for Venus in that section.
Did you get nasty looks?
I did. But you know, what are they gonna do? They're gonna turn nasty looks to the only black person in that section.
Yeah. It probably felt comfortable for some.
They can't just shut Indian Wells anymore though. They got put on blast already. They
right?
know.
Did they get put on blast? Why?
I mean,
something more recent?
Historically, he's talking now.
Historically.
Do they want to be another crowd scene nigger? And you got the Williams sisters in the stadium already, and say you're a woman of color? Yeah.
No.
And then well, don't play yourself. You got off lightly last time around, but you won't get off lightly again this time around.
I don't know. I don't think they'll have to worry about it. I think Indian Wells is filled with it's 99%, 97% white crowds. So I think they'll be okay. I think everyone will be okay.
Well, all right. So we gotta wrap it up.
We got some other things on, but so I mean, this tournament was pretty good. I think it's solid. I don't like the tank at Trumper, but you know, I think Tommy should be feeling pretty good. He should re-up his contract. Apparently, finally, he retired from tennis.
Yeah,
I don't understand this shit. I don't understand it.
So did Leighton
I thought
Hewitt
Tommy
when he
was
played
done.
Davis Cup.
You see, this is why I don't like Tommy Haas. He wanted some kind of. It's like the boss won a special award at work. Bitch, this ain't the place. Get that shit in Germany, okay? You come here for a tournament you're directed. Oh, they're gonna give me an award. Look, no, Thomas, no. And apparently, it's around that he and his wife are not married.
What?
Yeah, they're just girlfriends. What does that matter? Do people care about marriage and things like that? Is that the kind of people we are?
Well, they were putting it out that they were married. And my thing is that why she's out here trying to stand for a boyfriend. She got really pissy on Twitter. Girl, it's a boyfriend. Relax, girl. Relax. Okay? Get your career together. I don't see he's standing for your career. You should leave Thomas alone, okay? Don't be trying to fight people when they say Thomas is full of shit. Because it's true. Don't get mad at the facts, girl. Just do better. Get a better man. That's all I'm saying. But I guess she probably blocked me because I don't see her on Twitter anymore, which is, I must say, is a relief. Because she never has anything insightful, interesting to say.
All right.
But in other news, we have Ivanovic had a baby, which is so nice. You know, people keep this thing private. You know, Serena, hint, hint. You know, keep that shit on lock and key. You know, we don't need to see all your business. And your new daddy, Alexis. What is his name? Alex? I don't know his name.
Oh my
Whatever
God.
his name is.
His name is Alexis.
Oh, is it? Or whatever. Yeah. Like, yeah, y'all doing too much. The sign, all this, well, it's too much, way too much. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it's too much. And all you Twitter fans out here trying to act like this baby belongs to you. Yeah, y'all don't know this baby.
What baby?
It's weird. Alexis.
She said what? Baby?
Olympia, whatever her name is. Y'all doing too much. Y'all a little crazy. It's silly. Y'all should, you know, be friendly with the babies in your life, in your own personal life, not with somebody else's baby you don't even know and can't even touch. How about that? Right? And Serena, tell your man you're not the greatest of all time when it comes to motherhood. Not when Oseen Price is still alive. Just not happening. Just saying. It's rude and disrespectful, okay? And to everybody and their mama, including your own mama, to Alexis. Fuck, what's wrong with you? Y'all are silly. You gotta take that money and donate that money to charity for those signboards. And you see, when you're putting out so much to try to prove to people that, you know what, I know exactly what I think that relationship is all about, but you know what? I'll wait. I won't say anything because I know I will be vindicated. Just make sure, Serena, you got a prenup together, girl, because you see that motherfucker. It's greedy. So, anything interesting happened otherwise in the world of tennis, ladies? I just remembered something, but I forgot what it was.
Then I guess you didn't really remember it, did you?
It's true. While we were talking. Anything exciting happening, ladies? Anything exciting we should look forward to? Miami is coming up, so. The Sizzle, yes. Oh my God. To be a homosexual on this podcast and Miami still is around. It is the best of best time for me. It's one of my favorite podcasts.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm still salty.
I know you are, but you know what?
You won't be by next week. Don't worry.
I really hate this loss. I really do.
It sucks. It totally. You know what I hate about it? I had the perfect tweet ready. I mean, it was perfect. It was gonna piss off so many people, and I didn't even get to use it.
I mean, I know it's so sad, right? Because who knows? Delpo could be, you know, on one leg next week. That's how his body.
He will be. He will be. We already know.
You know what? I know
he just won 2 tournaments in a row. No fucking way. He's going to show up with his arm wrapped like nobody.
And I remember what it is. I just remember what it was I had to talk about. What? I had to say, I was like, I watched Delpo at the beginning of the tournament. Just like, Jesus, dude, do you now have like 50 billion wrist surgery? Why are you abusing your wrist like that? Like, there is no reason.
Doing what?
When I saw Delpo at the beginning of the tournament, I was just like, surely he's going to pull out at some point. His wrist cannot sustain that kind of abuse.
Well, obviously it can. Maybe he's stronger now. I don't know.
But, you know, Federer.
Whatever. I hate it. I hate this result. I really do. I don't usually hate results that much because I can be over them, but I really hated this one. Also because it was just bad.
Federer had 2 match points, 40-15.
It was bad tennis. I hate bad tennis. I hate.
Listen, exactly. Tennis. Very rarely do you watch Federer serve for a match like that and be up 40-love and just
40-15.
Gone.
It's just trash. It's trash.
Let me. You know what? But you know what?
Can we not go back here?
But here's the thing.
I feel like I just watched the Rafa match.
But here's the best thing about this loss.
I hate a Federer Rafa match. That's how Federer plays in Rafa matches. Shit.
Here's the wonderful thing about this podcast. It's going to be one of the most popular podcasts. Because you know what? All the haters are gonna come out and be like, "Let me hear these salty bitches."
and they can enjoy it because I am salty. I don't like ordinary.
Thank you for listening, fans. Thank you for listening.
Right?
I don't. I hate it. I hate when Federer loses to ordinary people. I mean, that sounds harsh, but I just, you know, and I really like Delpo. Not anymore.
No, you don't. You really don't.
But theoretically, I mean, the only person I could stand Federer losing to at this point in his career is probably Monfils. That's about it. That's really it. I can't take anybody else. That's probably about it. Maybe. Yeah.
Nobody. Maybe Chung because I like Chung, but not really.
No, you'll be nice.
I don't want Federer losing to anybody, but if he's gonna lose, I say lose to Chung.
You're like crazy. You know that, right?
I know. I know. I hate it. You know what it is? I just don't like my Sundays marred by like a loss. That's like a good.
You know what I'm mad about? I'm mad that was on so long and then
I know
nothing.
Fucker, losing 2. Don't lose in 3.
Exactly. That's what I was. I mean, yeah, I said.
And don't lose when you had 2 match points, boo. Don't lose. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Delpo had match points too, and he couldn't close it down.
While we have you haters here, let's talk about the fact that is it just me, but I was surprised Nole even showed up. I thought Nole had an elbow injury, which turned into be wrist surgery, and then all of a sudden they say he wasn't going back until May in the clay. And then all of a sudden, Nole is in the draw of Indian Wells. I was just like, wow, what happened? Like, no bandage, no crutches, no nothing. Like, what's going on here? And then he showed up looking slim and slender, like it's in a man. Like, what's going on in Nole's camp?
Honest to goodness, the Nole thing is boring to me. I don't care what happens with him. I just want him to come back and play tennis. If he's playing it, great. His backstory is not interesting enough for me to even ponder. So if you got surgery, do the surgery. Take the rest and come back and then start beating people's ass again. He's just not that interesting to me as a personality at this point in time, beyond whether he's playing good tennis or not. Like, I don't care. I really don't. And the whole, like, whether you know about what he's doing or not, like, just say you had surgery, Say what you did. Say what happened. Like, I find it odd. I find it odd that we don't know when people have surgery and what that means. Like, why is that like secret? Why is that a secretive thing? When people are injured and are out of the sport, like, why don't we know whether he had surgery on his wrist or his arm? Isn't that something that is like part of what you need to know? Like, part of what journalists would report. Like, it seems odd to me that journalists are unsure about what the injuries are and what these people have done.
Wait, that isn't clear?
No, it's not entirely clear because people, first of all, people didn't even know he had surgery. Second of all, they didn't know exactly where he had the surgery. They didn't know if he had it on his arms or his elbow or his wrist. It was weird. I'm like, why aren't these things known? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then the question of whether he came back too soon, I was like, you had surgery, what, 2 weeks ago? Should you be back? Like,
right.
Like
that's what I'm confused about. I was just like, again, biology, bio. I'm
6 weeks. Doesn't it usually take, isn't 6 weeks the minimum that surgeries take for you generally? Minimum 6 weeks, usually like an ankle injury.
No, that's like not true. It depends on the surgery. If it's a laparoscopic surgery, you can now I don't know about as far as
joints and ligaments.
Sports, but I mean, we tend to think that surgery is a major thing, and it's not always a major thing. That's what I'm trying to say. You can have a minor surgery
and then flip back around and play intense tennis in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding confusing.
I mean, they think they can. We see that they think they can, but how does that really work out?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Exactly.
But he had to have gone back to training. That's the thing. He had to have been training before this happened and felt good enough to think, you know what, I could play on par with anyone. That's what I thought was really odd.
He could have just been trying to get a gauge.
Yeah. I mean, you
know what I think.
Girl, you know what? I'm gonna go with Andreen. I'm gonna go with Andreen.
I think he wanted so desperately, but I think he wanted so desperately to have this amazing comeback, like Federer did.
Motherfucker, have a meet and greet with your fans, okay? Let them stop making chats. Don't come out and play sloppy tennis.
How many times have you said that Novak is chasing Federer's career? What are the chances that Federer goes on a 6-month layoff and comes back and wins a major? Tell me Novak didn't want that, and I'm gonna call you a liar.
But it's not the same thing, though. I mean, people keep on Federer had a 6-month layoff. Federer wasn't dealing with when the 6-month layoff started. Federer wasn't dealing with surgery. He was just dealing with recovery, basically. Getting his life back together because he had played tournaments. He got to the semifinal of Wimbledon. He had the surgery in January or early February. So I don't understand this. Like for me, it's just like why people keep comparing about all this thing and talk about this comeback with Federer and all. It's just white noise. And I mean that in as many possible ways as it can be taken. It's literally just white noise, and people just taking things out like people not looking at facts and real information. I guess it's
they never do.
But how can you look at facts? Honest to goodness, though, how can you really look at facts when things are happening with the players and even the sort of like approved reporters don't know and they can't confirm?
Right.
They can't confirm and they can't tell us anything. So all you are left with is speculation. There's no source that you can go to that says, you know what, if I read this, if I read Christopher Clary, if I read this, whoever, I'm going to really find out the real deal about what's happening to this player. Much of what you find out is kind of bizarre speculation. I mean, I don't know how this plays out in other sports, but when an athlete is injured in another sport, Janina, do you find out more about what happens? Like, do they tell you?
I think but you know what? I think they do. I think that they do tell you, and they tell you quickly. But the difference is with a team sport, you have somebody handling your PR and stuff for an entire team. This is an individual sport. So if nobody says anything, then you just don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But can't you ask? I mean, to me, it just seems like they don't.
Who are you going to ask? Who are you going to ask? You're going to get who are you going to call? So like if we're talking to. Exactly. If we're looking at a basketball organization, we can probably, you and I, everybody can go on, Cavs.com and find a contact person.
Yeah.
It's probably, I don't know, but my guess is it's probably a little bit more difficult in
I mean, I can't imagine because all the top players have PR people. There is a
who are they though? Do you know who they are? You don't know who they are. For a team.
Yes, you do. No, you know who these people. You know who their agents are. I mean,
really, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
you know who the big people are. Who's knows?
Yeah, but
who is
little people we really care about? But we're talking about big people here.
No, you know. So tell me, who is his agent? You say you know. Novak. I have no idea who it is. If I want to know something about Novak, I have no idea who to reach out to. So who would it be?
I mean, I don't know him personally, but I mean,
you don't know. That's my point.
Hold on. I don't know because I don't care to know much about Nole, right? I have no interest in knowing what Nole is going on. But if my job is a tennis reporter and a journalist, I must know who on the team handles PR and how to contact this person. I mean, somebody write a fucking book on Nole about some shit about, like
if somebody gets hurt in football, before they have left the stadium that they're going to go to the hospital, they're going to get an MRI. We'll have more information on Tuesday, and on Tuesday you better believe you're going to know if they're going to be out for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, need surgery, back to practice tomorrow. And that seems to be the way it is in most team sports. That is just information that is released. And maybe that's because it's demanded more, maybe because it's a bigger audience. I have no idea. But tennis doesn't operate that way.
But for me, a lot of these times
all of a sudden expect them to. We've never had that expectation of them, so they're not going to just start doing it.
Well, I guess, okay, because much of what I heard regarding Nole specifically about Nole time off and injury and, leg, armpit, whatever the hell was going on with him, it wasn't reported like an isolated abstraction. It wasn't saying, like, I think Nole had this injury. They said, like, I spoke to Stepanek, like someone on his team told me this, etc., etc. So to me, it's like kind of, like Nole mentioned this. So to me, it was rather bizarre. That's why in the last podcast I talk about, like, the fuck? He said he had an elbow injury. His fans keep going on about his elbow. Then all of a sudden he showed up with a cast, some wrist thing, and he said it was his wrist. Mm-hmm. And they said, someone on the team said, like, oh, he's not going to come back until the clay, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden he showed up at Indian Wells. And you see, for me, again, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why are you putting out so much disinformation? It's not weird, you're not doing yourself any favor. It's pointless. It's silly. I mean, I didn't think there was this vague abstraction or like ambiguity when it came to Federer.
And definitely not with Andy Murray. It was like, it was like one thing, Federer has an injury. Second thing, Federer is having surgery. It's done.
It didn't happen. I don't think it did happen that way. We found out Federer had an injury. Then we found out, Federer had surgery. We found out after the fact.
Right. He put out a statement. I don't care
there's statements. I don't care when it happens.
There is clarity. Exactly. There is clarity and consistency about what is happening.
But I mean, I don't care. So this is what it means. See, what happens is when things get confusing, it doesn't make me more interested. It actually makes me less interested. So that's why I was like, I don't care. Do what you want to do. When you start winning titles again, I'll care. I don't really want, I have no interest in whatever this battle is or whatever.
Well, he better eat or he'll never win again.
Bro, like I said, that juice, no bread, love and hugs diet is not working for you, Nole.
I find the whole thing uninteresting. Anyway.
You look like Britney Spears when she cut off all her hair. He's just
no, it's just, I don't know.
You know what? You remind me of Sinead O'Connor. That's what he reminds me of. I swear to God.
No.
Nothing compares.
I hope he doesn't read up or rip up a picture of the Pope, because
that's not happening. But anyway, well, I just wish him well. I hope he comes back doing whatever he wants to do and plays good tennis. I don't care. Hopefully the young ones will have emerged and I might find a new favorite among them and it will be all good.
I'm already in the Chun bandwagon.
Yes, we know you are.
I'm not really, I like Chung.
But you know what, boo? You gotta learn a shot game, boo. You gotta learn a shot game. We can't be playing 20 rallies for each point. That's crazy. See Federer exposed that for failed. You see how Federer exposed that for failed?
Listen, why not? It's what everyone on the tour does, and so why not do it?
It's silly. It's crazy. It's a waste of time. Even Delpo knows he can't be out there rallying. When you see your shot, take it. What's the point of that?
Like, why are you triggering us with Delpo? Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear Delpo.
Oh man. Man.
I know. I'm so irritated. I'm over it. I know.
But you know what? In these tough losses, I remember and I calm myself down by saying, I'm a Venus Williams fan. I have to do
Well,
this.
good luck.
Oh yeah, because that's very calming.
Because that's helpful.
That is that I live and I live.
You live because, like Venus said, listen, like Venus said, you know, losing is for losers. I was like, Venus, I appreciate you saying that, but that's what you've been doing lately. So
I'm saying, girl, oh girl, you coming out to be like, she coming out to be like a hot man at the club, and when you take him home, he's a minute man. Can't finish the race. Venus, we're gonna need to go that extra mile. We're gonna need to go that extra mile, girl. You need to finish this shit. You keep coming up short. And it is not cute. You keep coming up short to these messy people. You did the hard stuff already. You took out Serena.
I know.
She doesn't have the stamina. It's pretty obvious by now. Enjoy
people,
what you got.
And people, listen to me. Venus is 37 fucking years old, okay? 37. She could be some of these women's grandmother and their mother, okay? None of y'all come tell me some shit, but she's being rude in a press conference. It is pointless to have a press conference to talk about how you suck at your job that day. Okay? We're not here for the exit interview. Not here for that mess. So Venus, she can say whatever the fuck she want to say. If reporters want to write about that, go ahead and write about it. You know what I think? But you know why? Stop asking pointless questions. How do you feel? At that point when you had 40 love and you lost your game, how did that feel? How do you think I felt? Okay, you know what? Next time, talk to the fans. Have the reporters go talk to the fans. Don't be bothering the player. Let Venus go get her edges together. She got no time for this shit. Okay, so I'm gonna need all you people to put some respect in your voice when y'all talk about Venus, motherfucking Ebony Style Williams. She got
listen. We're not that podcast.
Apparently, we are.
I have zero interest in the lecture on Venus.
So next week is our Miami Sizzle.
Daughter Venus saying all lives matter. Y'all don't come for her. Y'all can't come for her.
I don't know about all lives matter leaving anybody's mind anytime soon. But we didn't talk about this. What did you guys think of Serena?
Well,
Serena fans. Tell me what you thought, Janina. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I do. I felt like she played well. I felt like she looked like she wanted to be there. I felt like she got better with each little bit that she played, whether that be matches, sets, whatever. I felt like she is going in the right direction. My hope is she picks up some more tournaments before the French Open. I don't know that she will, but you know, she needs to play. That's how she's going to get better. And given how pissed off she was that she lost to Venus, that shows me that she still truly wants to be there because she was hot.
I was doubtful. Janina and I spoke about this on a couple of mornings. I was like, girl, what are you doing here, girl? You don't look okay. You shouldn't be here. But then I watched her matches and I'm just like, oh, I understand why you're here. Trying to get that feel, trying to get that competitive edge back in yourself, trying to back yourself and, you know, because the two matches that she played before Venus, I think, if I'm not mistaken, were tough matches, you know what I mean? Like, and these girls still got trouble with a C-rated Serena.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I know. I mean,
they still had trouble with a C-rated Serena. And when Serena really put her mind on focus, you know what I mean, she can pull it out of the bag. And she did really well, you know, but, you know, like I said, Venus knows that serve. Venus knows that serve every time.
But she made mistakes that we don't normally see. Lots of overhitting the ball, missing by only a little bit. You know, in order to get that touchback in a match, you gotta play matches.
That's true.
I think.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful. I'm one of those people who think, you know, like she probably would be Serena right now, but by Wimbledon she might be contention. But you know what? Serena is 36. I know people think that we're in magical age because we have a lot of exceptions, but you know what? She's 36. She just had a baby. I mean, like, you know, it takes a lot. You know, priorities are not always the same. So, I mean, if all things are equal, I would think Serena should be back up there.
Okay, before we go to, what about Vika, y'all? We didn't talk about Vika's match.
I didn't see Vika. I didn't see her play.
She had some problems on her serve. I was surprised by that. And I thought that she would be better in the rallies because I feel like she's just been hitting so much. I mean, it's not like she's been injured, right? And of course, there's no excuse for match play. because you can practice all you want, but the tension and all that stuff. But I was surprised to see her be sort of out hit by Sloane in rallies. Like I saw her lose to Sloane, and it just seemed like Sloane was on top of her all the time.
Again,
and
you gotta play. You gotta play.
Yeah, and it wasn't a situation where you would say to yourself that Sloane was like hitting her off the court. It was just like she was handling the rallies poorly, and that's what Vika's game is for me. I mean, I don't know.
The other thing to me, a tennis match. It's been a long time. Serena has probably played more recently than Vika.
Yeah.
So you gotta play.
Vika, I gotta say, girl, you had all that time off. I know things were difficult with you and your baby mama drama. I keep saying no temporary pulls and permanent holds. Yeah. But girl, you could have worked on your serve. You could have worked on your serve. Because that has always been a liability, right?
I know, but I think she tried to. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like she might have done like a little bit of shift. She did something a little bit with her serve. There's a little bit of a hitch to it though, where it's like I think there's like a pause for too long when she throws the ball up. So I don't know. I mean, I think she was trying to. I definitely think that she was trying to do something with her serve. I don't know if it was effective because she lost serve immediately.
And she lost weight and gained back. But I'm happy to see she looked like she's been eating. Right. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, she was super thin. She was like Novak thin for a minute.
But can she travel? Is it so that she can travel?
I think she is in Miami. She is in Miami. Listen, the reality is, I think she can travel within the U.S. I think at this point in time, and maybe because she posted a picture that said she was in Miami. So I'm assuming that whatever's going on, her and her man, or they have figured out a way to at least deal with travel within the U.S., which is fine because let me tell you, if I were I wouldn't send her. I wouldn't want to see her go to a foreign country with a baby. You'd never get that baby back.
And there's a lot of animosity between the two sides because even his friends are winning. That's just ugly.
It's too much.
Wear condom, people. Wear a condom. I'm never gonna stop stressing that importance of that. Even if you can't get pregnant. Wear a fucking condom. But
other good news is that Anna Ivanovic had a baby.
Yes.
Baby boy.
Nice.
Congratulations to her.
And I'm happy I can't see the baby, like I've said before. Because I'm not the godfather. I'm just not. I can't be godfather to these rich kids. Are you fucking kidding me? God, Daddy, what did you bring me? A pencil. You brought me a fucking pencil. No.
I just want us to be on the alert that Federer is going to be going to Chicago to open Laver Cup.
Yeah.
And so we all need to just pay attention to these damn tickets. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, Federer, you know what, Federer, here's what you can do for Realz in this podcast. Have your kids sell lemonade and give us the proceeds so we can see Laver Cup. How about that, Federer? Can we get that happening? Can that be a thing?
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. That's one of the best ideas ever. Federer, I don't know what's going on. I know the ladies, but I think Federer, you made a statement that Gillette isn't paying you any more money, so you decided to come out with a beard.
Stop it. He hasn't been with Gillette for years. Come on.
Well, he's trying to tell them he can make some more money. I'm just saying, Federer. Gillette. Is Gillette even still in existence?
Yes, it is. I like Scruffy Fed. I don't mind when he does this once.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you know what? Gillette has lost a lot of money. Stock in Gillette has probably gone down because they have now decided that razor really shouldn't cost that much fucking money. And there's so many smaller brands like Dollar Shave Club and whatever. So Gillette ain't passing over that kind of millions anymore. So plus Tiger fucked up everything, So hey,
he's a Tiger fucked up. Just shut up. Shut up.
But anyway, I have to say, Indian Wells is a very exciting tournament for young kids. A lot of young Americans and Bona Chorich, baby Bona, or Pona Chorich, as you thirsty people like to say. I'm not a fan of Bona.
He's cute.
That's all right. I'm not a fan. Apparently, he's not 5'10", as I suspect. He's like 6'2". I don't know how that's working, but y'all telling me he's 6'2". I'm going to believe that when I see it. So, Bona, I'll be looking for you when I see you at the next tournament near me. Would you be at Laver Cup, boo? But I probably would see at the US Open before that anyway. But probably breaking rackets and being a spoiled brat. Was Sasha Zverev even here?
Yeah, he was. Didn't he?
Oh, shit. No, you didn't.
You miss him. Probably spending time with his daddy.
You're a mess.
Sasha, we won't be. What we won't be doing, Sasha, is trying to say Juan Carlos Ferrero was unprofessional. Okay, that's what we won't be doing any other day. Okay, boo.
I don't mind though. I don't mind. I mean, there are a lot of sacred cows. Who knows what went down in there?
But what we like to believe, and what we know for sure, is that Sasha was being messy.
Most likely, I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, but maybe it's one of those. Maybe Sasha is the new Caroline Wozniacki, where you just have to fit in with his team. You know, it's not going to be one of those situations where you come in and you get to decide everything.
Just collect the check, right? Just collect the check. But you know what? If you decide, but you know those people, they're those kind of people that if you decide to do just collect the check, they're gonna be the first motherfucker to say you ain't doing anything, right? Where they won't allow you to do something. When you sit at your desk, you know, go to those jobs where you're trying to do something. No, we don't need you to do anything. Just sit here. Why are you sitting down here all the time and not doing anything? Because you won't give me something to do. But you know what, Juan Carlos Ferrero? There's some other people you can work with. Francis Tiafoe. Maybe you should work with Francis. Don't know. There's some other young talent out there, you know. Sloan is looking for a coach. Maria is looking for a coach. I mean, and you're Spanish, so maybe you know how to do the thing, you know, that thing. Just saying, Maria, hey, Spain, Spanish, you know, might help you with that little problem you got, girl. Pick a Spanish course next time around. Just saying, Maria. I don't know if we want to talk about Ben and another messy hot take on Serena after that Serena match.
Can we not?
I feel like Serena fans handled that really well. Called him out on it and challenged his perspective. Video records showed that he was wrong, and in the end, he had to retract what he said about perceiving her as an angry black woman in many ways.
But what he has not retracted, though, in his non-apology, was the fact that he implied that she was doping.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No,
he said
He did not. Let's be honest now. Come on.
No, let me be honest. Let me just say. He said Serena has not failed. Serena has not failed a credible dope. Has not had a credible failed dope test. Something along those lines, using the word credible dope test, as if she had failed something before and another test.
She did. That's not what happened. I think. Listen, I think we can be fair in critiquing the fact that Ben chose to align Serena's name with a doping test, like when it wasn't even necessary. That just seems weird. But every person, I think he just echoed what everyone said, is that, you know, it doesn't make sense for Serena to have been asked this question when she's never failed a drug test. And you've had somebody like a Bethany Maddox-Sands who has had dubious interactions around what kind of drugs she can take. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he suggested that. Is that how people are interpreting that? That he was suggesting she was doping?
Obviously.
No, I took it that he made this comment to. I thought he made a slide to her by making that statement in his tweet. And that to me was just like, when that should have been, to me, it's just like it was messy to even bring that up. To bring up the tea, whatever the case may be.
But it wasn't him that brought it up. But it was messy for the person in the room to bring it up. I don't really understand why that conversation needed to be had upon her return. This happened at the French Open, right? This was the French
2015.
Open. So why are we talking about something that happened in 2015 at the French Open? That just seems weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
I mean, apparently it was Kamashi Tandon, who's, you know, generally, you know, MIA on Twitter for the most part, and it will occasionally pop in and do a couple round outs about the tournament, and then maybe one or two pieces on like ESPN or something. But apparently she was the one that asked that question. I just find it odd that a reporter would need to ask that question. If you haven't not seen the person, it's been 3 years. We don't even ask Sharapova about what pills she's taking for her heart condition. Do you know what I mean? Like that's part of it I don't really understand. Like, that's a legitimate follow-up question to somebody who got called for taking a drug that was essential to her health. So it would feel like that's an essential question to ask somebody. So to ask, I just didn't get it. And, you know, I thought, and then, you know, what's so funny about it? None of it would have come to light, really, if Ben hadn't even just like gone and sort of read press conferences about this. Which, by the
way, to it. He said he listened to it.
Which he didn't, right? Because if he did, because then when he defended himself later, he said, "Oh, now I have seen it and heard it." And
he said he backtracked on that because he said he read it. He said he listened to the audio and it was heated, and that's why he chose that. He did say that he listened to it from the beginning, and then this video surfaced and everybody else got to see it and listen to it, and that's when he backtracked. So whatever. Weird. I mean, it was weird. I think that the overall bigger thing is why wasn't Ben there? What is he doing? Why is he bringing this up? That's what I really want to know.
Did you think that?
My thing is, why does he keep bringing up? Why he keeps bringing up all these messy nonsense and pulling Serena in all of his tweet pivoting? Maybe I guess it's a marketing ploy to get himself some plug to go somewhere. I don't know, but I just find his whole presentation, as always, messy. His takes are never hot. I mean, like he's uninsightful generally. I mean, like, and even his best piece of work, that guy that's in Breaking Story about that fake guy, whatever the case to me, he had to pivot it about Serena. And as soon as I read that piece, I was just like, Ben didn't do this work. And sure enough, found out he stole all that hot take from someone else. Did all that hot movement.
Really? Are you telling me that the piece was from someone else? Oh, I didn't know that.
He had to go back and give praise to people because all of the work he don't speak.
Interesting.
Because the information had to have come from someone who did the interview with the person in their native language, and it wasn't in English.
Well, all that
piece required work and effort, and Ben, that's not about Ben.
Oh, well, what's interesting to note though is that I did hear that actually they didn't have a transcript of the actual interview and press conference with Serena. So they did not actually. So
that's interesting because he said he read it and he listened to the audio.
He had a transcript. He has a photograph of the transcript. Because when someone initially made a pushback and said this doesn't sound
apparently like the transcript didn't come on in the time.
Maybe it wasn't official.
It wasn't. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. But so it wasn't. Apparently there was no transcript of that interaction. That's what's interesting about the whole thing. But I mean, so it's just I just think it's a weird thing to cast in Serena returning to a tournament where she's had a dubious history. And apparently I didn't watch this and I meant to. Apparently, I think there was some larger discussion about what the Williams sisters could have helped Indian Wells do better. Did you all see that?
No.
There was some hot take about how the Williams sisters managed their return to Indian Wells and whether that was a teachable moment for people. And I just, I think it's just, I don't know.
Because it's up to them to teach people they're ignorant.
I think the characterization of the Indian Wells episode continues to be conflicting. I don't think that it's one of those situations where I don't think people agree on how it
all went down.
What went down? Like I really do think that people feel like it was legitimately not a racist incident. That the tournament had no responsibility for what was happening in the stands, and how. So it feels like it's always been characterized as kind of like a misstep on their part, like their sensitivity, right? Like,
of course.
So I don't think that's changed, right? That hasn't changed since it happened.
You know how I feel about this situation. Venus and Serena should never come back to Indian Wells. That was my thing. I was with them from the beginning, and I've said this in 2015 when Serena came back, or whenever she came back, 2015, I think. In fact, my very first podcast when I was all by myself, I spoke at length at the fact that I was pissed off because it is just like white people when they get caught being racist, they like to pretend that they forgive the victims. I don't understand this, and it's very clear. And these are facts that cannot be none of for this be debate or being disputed. Indian Wells knew Venus Williams was not going to play, and they knew this several hours ahead of time. They have never come out and said Venus was wrong and saying that when she said this. They waited until the very last minute to announce that. The crowd got nasty and disgusting, and people in the stands, people confirmed this because some white people said they didn't hear the N-word being used. That didn't mean that it didn't happen. And you know how y'all are oblivious to racism, right? Because y'all are never the intended victims, right? And generally, 9 out of 10 times, y'all have similar feelings too. So y'all not gonna point out racism when y'all think this is a legitimate feeling to have. And what I cannot understand how we keep trying to act as if Venus and Serena are somehow at fault for this situation and they owe someone an apology, and how the tournament forgive them. There's forgiveness on both ends.
I know.
Get the fuck out of here with those bullshit.
Yeah,
this is so disgusting, and particularly in this time when we have so much language around these issues, when we better informed, we're still going on about this shit. But you know what? This is my thing. I think we should ban tennis journalism. It's useless. It's pointless.
Honestly,
it's of no great value. It is of no great value to the sport.
This is so controversial. It's so controversial, but I really agree. I really think that the way that tennis journalism happens should change. I do. I think press conferences should not be required. I absolutely don't believe that they're required, because you know what? It's you're seeing these people week in, week out. And it's the same people, the same question, the same tedious storyline. I mean, if a new person breaks on the scene, fine, do something with that. But I feel like nowadays, with all of the way that the ATP tries to highlight their own players and the WTA tries to highlight I don't really know if you need these people to basically act as cheerleaders for the sport. I mean, that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the value of it anymore. And that sounds harsh to me.
Doesn't bring anything.
Not anything.
You have all of this access, and y'all know what the fuck is going on with Nole. And that nobody knew that Sharapova. No one can ask Sharapova, bitch, what the fuck are you on? No one can get that exclusive interview, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem
y'all are wasting time. You know what? Y'all are like Peter Pans. Y'all don't want to grow the fuck up and get a real job and do real journalism. So y'all are writing some piss poor stories out there. Come on.
I don't want to go.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there.
I don't want to go there, but I'm just saying I don't know if it has.
Think about the last time you read a really great tennis piece and it came out of that nest. It came out of that nest. Tell me when. I'm waiting. Fans at me with a link to a great tennis story, a great tennis piece that was written by one of those messy people in that tennis world that we all know. The Claries. I don't want to call Ben a real journalist, but you know what? I guess he styles himself like that. And I guess you could say he is that too. I guess for on the tennis standards, right? Well, he qualifies. Courtney, the WTA insider. I mean, they never have any hot takes. WTA insiders never have any hot takes.
Okay. I sent us down a road, but I just, I was just curious to see what everybody thought about that. We know that we should be wrapping it up because this was a bitter pill for us all to swallow, or at least me. I will say that I was a bitter Nelly today. But we have Miami Sizzle coming up, right?
Guess what, people? In first round, Miami, Osaka will be playing Serena Williams. So
she'll get tested right away.
Yes, girl. That trophy might be sweet in your mouth or bitter in your guts. One way or the other, right? It's gonna be no great way to follow up a great win. Hey, and I'm waiting for people to tell me some shit about the crowd, right? Because
I don't know what crowd.
Osaka, I'm just saying, girl, you're a pretty girl, love your tennis, but girl, I don't know. Get some coaching, something when it comes to media matters, girl. And taking pictures. You always look like you're about to get out of a coffin. You always look dead under duress.
Leave her be. She's apparently, cute, her own special thing. So anyway, congratulations to Osaka. We need to wrap this up because I know poor Janina is like, I'm done and over it. These two bitches are too upset about these damn tennis scores, and who cares?
Yeah. And I'm so bitter and salty. I can't even say congratulations, Delpo.
Oh, you just did. Well done.
Don't even say it.
Listen, I'm gonna be Federer is the bigger person. Federer said, most importantly, Juan Martín, well played today. There wasn't much between us, but you deserve it. Well done. And I have to echo that. You were a solid A and Federer was a solid B, and you took it. So
Federer was a solid mess. That's what he was. A solid hot fucking mess.
I'm so bad. But, you know, congratulations to fans if they even listen to this podcast. I know there are lots of really cool Delpo fans, people who love Delpo, people who hate Federer, and is obviously happy with this result. You know, whatever.
You're lucky because we're in Wakanda together. You're lucky because
whichever camp you're in, you know, enjoy it. It's nice when, you know, a fave takes home a title. Fuck it. Anyhow,
so mature and big of you, Andreen. I call that growth. That's what I call it, growth. But unfortunately, I'm petty, and I'm gonna say whatever, Delpo, whatever the fuck ever.
Whatever. You better be giving gifts to Federer at the end of your career, because
yes, you shall. You should. I don't want to see you say any slight shit to Federer ever again.
So Miami Sizzle, guys, when are we gonna have Miami Sizzle? When should we have people prepare?
Well, it's a week after next, because typically the tournament starts on Wednesday in Miami, and ain't much generally going on. We might have a podcast next week, but you know, generally we probably have a podcast. We give the results, and then we go into our top 5-6 hot men on the tour.
So I'll begin to pick our list. I would have to prepare my list.
Yes, it's so easy for me. So easy.
Maybe there's some additions, because you know I don't check for anybody else on the satellite tour. So I'm gonna bring some people. So a lot of.
By the way, people, you've noticed how Realz scrub picks have made something of themselves, right? See that? PCB.
Oh. Can I make an announcement about an experience I had in Indian Wells? I can't help it. So Indian Wells, I had planned on staying at a hotel. It didn't work out. So I splurged and stayed at the Hyatt. Okay. I'm just going to make a confession that I can't go back anymore, guys. Now that I've stayed at the Hyatt, I can't go back. I mean, I was passing.
But you don't got white people money. What are you talking about? You can't go back.
Listen, I can't help it. So, I mean, I'm sitting at breakfast. Who am I sitting across from? But Feliciano Lopez, chatting away a mile a minute. I come out of the elevator. I pass Fabio. I do. I mean, it, and then
he's also missing at any point in your life,
which is fair. But what was so amazing about it was beyond all that, which is fine. The room was ridiculous, guys. It had like a sitting area. This is how nice this room was, and the shuttle, 5 minutes to and from the hotel. It was just perfect. There was like no complaints. Everything was
into a spoiled little brat.
Oh my God, guys, I have. What am I gonna do with myself if I don't have this experience?
You better start selling lemonade, girl, because hey, I ain't even knowing it enough.
All I'm letting
wherever
you know,
Federer say, you need to go into that neighborhood and sell some lemonade, girl.
Let me tell you something. Cincy has nothing on this. Also, Cincy needs to get more hotels, by the way. But anyway, so it was the best experience I've ever had, and so from now on, I'm not.
Any hotels you've ever stayed in the world?
No, I mean, this one for tennis was definitely the best. It was definitely the best experience I have. And
even better than in Shanghai?
Yeah. Because in Shanghai I stayed at a very, very lovely hostel, very lovely youth hostel. It was very sweet. But that was back in the day. But this was, guys, it was so nice. I mean, I think there is definitely a really fun feeling staying in a hotel where the players stay. Because I don't do the fan thing, like I don't run up to them, I don't ask them for stuff, but it's just such a like it's just fun.
Did you put on Grindr?
It's just fun.
Oh my God.
I could have, right? Because I could have seen some shit. But it was just nice.
Yes, you could have.
It's
just what?
Nice. Ooh. You felt like you were like part of this tennis experience. It's very different. You know,
now
and
you've given me an idea. I've never thought of that. I have never thought. You know what? I'm not gonna put up my top secrets out there. I'm gonna keep my whole tricks to myself. I'm gonna keep my whole tricks to myself. But I just thank you, Andreen. I didn't know you were gonna go with this story, but you know what? I love it.
I just want to say that if you are going to a tennis tournament for the first time and you can afford it, I believe me, this is not something I can normally afford, and you can afford it, it is quite a perk to at least spend 1 or 2 nights at the hotel the players are staying at. You don't have to stalk or do anything crazy, but it's just a fun vibe to just run into players moving through and forth in the space. It just feels like a fun thing. You know what I mean? You can be giddy inside yourself. You don't have to do anything about it. Like I saw Ka Pliskova and I was like, that's Ka Pliskova. Do you know what I mean? It's just nice to have that experience.
Which one? You sure you saw the right one?
I did. I saw the one that actually makes money. And so So
got nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it was a good experience. I mean, I don't fangirl a lot, but it was fun to just do it inside. Be like, "Ooh, this is so cool!" So
it's cool because you get to see them in their
yeah.
So how did he feel? How did he feel? How did he look
today? He looks amazing.
Was he eating a banana? Was he eating a banana?
Looks great. No, can I tell you? You know what? It was. You know what's so? You know, and I'm so annoyed with myself, guys, because I was being so good because I was actually working. So I was so focused, but I heard this person telling this massive story in Spanish, running his mouth, laughing, giggling. And then this person passes by me, and I was like, I recognize that ass. I know that ass.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, that was Feliciano Lopez. He was lovely. You know, lovely people.
They all looked great. Seriously recognized his butt.
I did. I was like, I looked up.
It wasn't the hair or... Wow.
I started at the butt. No, I started at the thigh.
That's my girl, Andreen.
I started at the calf. I know, it's horrible. I started at the calf, worked my way up, and I was like, I know who that is.
I would have done the same thing. It's not a gender bias. I would have done the same thing too. I side up the legs and want my way up.
It's a fun treat. You know, if you're going to go to a tennis tournament far away and you can afford it, why not just splurge that way? And if you can drag 10 of your friends in a room so you could afford it, even better.
Do it.
It's a fun ride. Anywho, that was my.
Well, can you still afford tickets though? Can you still afford tickets? Maybe that should be the thing. You just pay for the hotel and don't pay for the tickets, right? See all the action back at the hotel.
Do you know what's really funny about it? I don't know if you guys have this experience, but this is just something as a traveler, you do spend far more money on the actual accommodation. Like yes, I spend, you know what I mean? That's what it is. It makes me sad sometimes. Like when you plop down like 100 and something for the hotel, and then you're like, but I'm not buying a ticket. Like I want to reverse it. You know, because like I paid I was actually lucky. I got like a Priceline deal, which was awesome because I think nobody had booked that hotel, and so it was last minute, so I was able to get into the hotel. But I think I got the hotel 75% off. So that's amazing. That's unusual. But I was like, I paid $50 for the grounds pass, and I saw all these great matches. But then when I looked at how much I paid for the hotel, I was like, I want to flip them. Can I pay $50 for the hotel? And buy the ticket. So, I mean, that's the price you pay. You're paying for accommodations. The tickets are actually, I mean, I don't even understand people who pay. I mean, those tickets got to be ridiculous. They've got to be like $5,000-$6,000. I mean, that's just not happening for me. But, you know, it is what it is. But that was my Indian Wells adventure. I was in a hotel where the players were staying, and it was really fun. It was fun to run into them.
Well, good to know that Andreen is a semi-stalker, and she looks at the thing I look at too.
Semi-stalker.
But anyway, we gotta go. You know, some of us got salty tears to really cry.
Yeah,
and some of us had families.
Not really.
Yeah, you see, this podcast is
saves lives.
Saves lives. It saves lives. We are the Wakanda of hot tennis podcast. We're just that good. But anyway, ladies, let me bid you adieu, and all the fans out there, don't forget to comment below. We're on Podbean, we're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, and on some other many different kind of podcast platforms that I don't know how we're on there, but you know what? And to all of the Fedcast haters who are listening to us for the salty tears, thank you for showing up as always. You can be open about it that you've listened to the podcast instead of secretly lying and telling your friends that you don't give anything about us. And this is our 114th podcast.
I was properly salty. Thank you, Delpo, for making me really salty.
When is Andy Murray coming back? Because I feel he would have taken care of Delpo. I think he would have.
I know. Maybe he'll return during Laver Cup. I'm really like pushing for. I would like a Delpo return. I would like an Andy Murray return at Laver Cup, please.
Well, that's not until October. What's wrong with you?
Listen, I don't know. There's no guarantee how this works. Andy actually had surgery and it was in a bed. So
Andy usually has real recoveries.
Andy posted a picture that he was in a bed. That's what Andy did. Okay?
He typically has real recoveries. Usually when you want to see what an injury recovery looks like, you can go to Andy Murray. His aren't typically sketchy. So anyways, good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.